Cell, ITE and C Department, Government of Telangana. I am Vansh Raj, and accompanying me as my co-host is Lahari Perabatula. We are profoundly privileged to serve as your hosts for this remarkable event.
Before we commence the inaugural session, we would like to throw some light on the concept of G20. The G20 or Group of 20 is an intergovernmental forum comprising 19 countries and the European Union. It works to address major issues related to the global economy such as international financial stability, climate change mitigation, and sustainable development. India assumed the G20 presidency on 1st of December this year from Indonesia and has been convening the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play an important role in finding pragmatic global solutions.
While Y20 will provide a platform for young people to share their ideas and experiences and to advocate for policies and programs that support the various pressing topics, the brainstorming session in Hyderabad will focus specifically on health, well-being, and sports agenda for youth, driven by you all, the change makers in the sector. The Y20 deliberation will be anchored on the following sub-themes. Number 1, promoting digital health infrastructure. Number 2, complete well-being, physical and mental health through traditional medicine and yoga. Number 3, improving access to health financing for young citizens. Number 4, prevention of substance abuse. And lastly, promotion of indigenous sports.
I would now invite Dr. Shanta Tautam, Chief Innovation Officer of Government of Telangana, to give away the opening remarks. She is the first women Chief Innovation Officer of Telangana. Please share your wisdom and the importance of youth and innovation in social sector.
Thank you guys. In fact, I just wanted to kind of bring it to your notice that Telangana State Innovation Cell for the first time has got these young student volunteers to work with us, and I just wanted to kind of give them a big round of applause as they're concluding their internship with them, and this is a great conclusive event for them too. Thank you, Vansh and Lahari, for setting up the context on the G20, the presidency that we got for the last, for the next, this year. In fact, the vision behind, like, what exactly are we doing, like, what activities that we are spearheading across India. In fact, the first Startup 20, the inception of Startup 20 happened in Telangana and in Hyderabad. We showcased our innovation ecosystem to the delegates who came from across the globe. So this happened in January, and I'm glad the Y20 is also happening in Hyderabad, and we got to bring all the young people of Telangana who has already carved a niche for themselves to be part of this brainstorming session. I heartily welcome all of you guys to world's largest innovation campus. So I'm saying this is world's largest innovation campus. It's an 18 acres campus. It's a beautiful innovation ecosystem that we have built and nurtured in the past 9 years since the state has formed. Telangana being the youngest state, we are the role models when it comes to building a sustainable startup ecosystem and sharing the best practices to any delegates coming from not only in India but also across the globe. So we all know why we are trying to do the G20 and Y20 activities. We are going after this vision of building a new nation for ourselves. Most of you guys know that, right? Our Honorable Prime Minister set this vision for us, New India, Nava Bharat. So with that vision, we wanted to envision new ideas, innovative ideas. And also, how would we come together, all the ecosystem players, all the stakeholders coming together and collectively, innovating and kind of taking these innovative ideas to the next level, so that the ideas are not only used for Telangana or for India, or for not only for these two, the state and the country, but also for the international settings also. So that's a bold vision that we have set for ourselves. Similarly, for Telangana, when it comes to the innovation ecosystem, we wanted to make Telangana as a go-to destination for startups. When the state was formed, In 2014, we had 3 incubation centers and close to 200 startups. But after 9 years, fast forward, we have close to 7,500 plus startups and close to 80 innovation, incubation and accelerator programs across the 33 districts of Telangana. So that kind of innovation ecosystem that we have built in Telangana. Now, as I said, you are in the world's largest innovation campus. Right across T-Hub, we have T-Works, which is India's largest prototyping center. And right behind this building, we have another image towers coming up, which will be catering explicitly for VFX, AR, VR, gaming, and animation startups. So we have Telangana State Innovation Cell. I'll talk a little bit about Telangana State Innovation Cell in a bit, but we have an explicit incubation center for women entrepreneurs called VHub. We do have an entity task for skilling and retaining our own talent within Telangana. I'm just mentioning few of them. Similarly, this year, in fact, we will be launching and inaugurating, I would say, we launched the framework for an incubation center explicitly for youth and adolescents, but we will be inaugurating the center, in Telangana very soon. Again, Telangana State Innovation Cell, as I said, is India's one and only first innovation cell. The state has formed the Telangana is the state to form this innovation cell across the country, and we are a nodal agency. We are the first response for innovation and entrepreneurship. We spearhead activities so that we take any innovator, whoever comes to us, we scout and recognize innovators, and we help them scale their innovations to the next level. We have a couple of our innovators sitting amongst you guys today. And I'm sure they will be also very actively sharing their ideas and advocate for some policies when it comes to the areas of interest that we will be discussing very soon. So as a nodal agency, we are building and nurturing the culture of innovation across the 33 districts of Telangana. So we understand how our innovators work and how we can help them take their innovations to the next level. As I said, our innovation in education mandate is completely spinning off as Y-Hub, which is Youth and Adolescents Hub. You will be hearing about it very soon in a month or so. And all the activities that happen, the innovative activities that we spearhead in the education space will be kind of spinned off completely. We work with a lot of grassroots innovators. We help their innovations to scale up. We work with government officials. We sensitize them about innovation and entrepreneurship and what kind of startup ecosystem that we have built within Telangana so that they could leverage the services from these startups. So it's a great journey that we have set on for the past 9 years, and we celebrated our 10th year of state formation, and actually the celebrations are ongoing until 23rd of June. So in fact, on 6th of June we celebrated our the innovation progress that we have made in Telangana. So it's a great journey, and it's very humbling to be part of this journey, and it's very happy to see all the youngsters who are from these three sectors: sports, well-being, and health. And the idea of this brainstorming session is for you guys to voice your opinion. I literally mean that. Share your ideas, voice your opinions, and if there are any very attractive policies that you wanted to advocate for, please bring them to the table. Okay. So before COVID and after COVID, how it has changed our lives too, right? It took a toll on our mental health, physical health, and the overall well-being. What we were before COVID, we are not the same. The profile of our health changed quite a bit. So if you have any innovative thoughts, please do share. That's the main idea of hosting this Y20 activity here and inviting all of you guys to this platform. So feel free to engage actively, I would say proactively, in this brainstorming session and share your ideas. Once again, welcome all of you guys to this wonderful Y20 activity. We are proud to host all of you guys, and feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shanta Tautam, for your valuable insights, your views on innovation and entrepreneurship for the youth.
All right. I now request Shri Ali Syed to give away a token of appreciation to Dr. Shanta Tautam. Dr. Shanta?
please come on the stage.
Moving on, I kindly invite Shri Ali Syed, consultant to Y20, to share with the delegates his valuable thoughts and insights into the inception of the Y20 program.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure for us to be here. Especially, I was completely taken aback by seeing the size of the campus. It's massive. The first thing that I did while I was, driving to T-Hub was to ask the guy driving me to, stop. And I just wanted to take a picture. I have been fortunate enough in the past to visit some of the best incubation centers, but nothing of this scale. So a big round of applause for, making it happen. You have to think big in order to make it big. The part of G20, one of the reasons that we are here, across the countries, I'm sure all of you must have seen what G20 is doing. This is a 10-month-long presidency. The summit level meeting is going to be taking place in September. Prior to that, the vision of the Prime Minister was very simplistic, to make it as inclusive as possible. When the 20 most powerful nations of the world get on a singular platform to discuss one of the most important things, then what do, being the head of the biggest democracy in the world? You reverse engineer it. You take it back, you ask the people what's going to be needed, that we could discuss eventually at the summit level meeting, and that is why throughout the year we are having meetings connected to Women's 20, U20 being one of this, our organization RIS, which is the autonomous think tank of the Ministry of External Affairs, and almost a 40-year-old think tank which excels in international trade policy besides many other facets. We have been given the responsibility to organize University Connect. That is, we are traveling to 75 universities across the country, 53 locations. So 53 is the number where the G20 meetings are happening, connected to agriculture, connected to youth, culture, tourism, covering almost every single facet that plays a major role into the development of a nation. U20 being one of this. With Y20, we are doing something very special. We are covering 4 topics. We are covering Industry 4.0, which would have been actually very relevant to T-Hub. Industry 4.0, innovation and skills for 21st century. We are doing health and well-being sports agenda for youth. We are covering climate change, and we are covering peace and democracy. So these 4 discussions, these 4 sessions, brainstorming sessions, we are organizing with young professionals. So one is the University Connect, where we are going to the students, and one is young professionals primarily. And we're taking the inputs from the young professionals and eventually feeding it into the policy ecosystem to come up with a cohesive, inclusive policy outcome by the end of the G20 proceedings. So we are here for health and well-being sports agenda for youth. The more we say about health and well-being, the less it is. I mean, your mind, your body it's the only engine that keeps us functioning. My tiny bit of understanding over the past years of being slightly conscious about health has been to dedicate some time for your development throughout the day. Keep it 100 minutes, where 60 minutes you probably get your cardiovascular rate up. 20 minutes you probably dedicate to reading, 10 minutes to where you probably keep to learning a new skill, and 10 minutes where you keep to meditation. The idea is how you build yourself internally is how you express yourself externally. So a healthy nation is, a healthy citizenship of any nation is going to lead to a healthy country. And it's without a doubt, this is the moment for India. The amount of energy that we see in this nation as of now, you will not find it anywhere. So if you want to be part of the hustle, the great India story, not the growing India story, keep yourself fit, be conscious, dedicate time to yourself, and thanks once again. I hope to have some really good incisive inputs by the end of the session and take it forward back to the to Delhi with me. Thank you very much.
I kindly request Dr. Shanta to give a token of appreciation to Mr. Ravi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next speaker, Malawat Purna, an exceptional Indian mountaineer who first captured the world's attention on May 25th, 2014. She accomplished a remarkable feat at the age of 13. She successfully reached the summit of Mount Everest, becoming the youngest Indian female and one of the youngest in the world to conquer the extraordinary peak. Please give a warm round of applause to Malawat Purna.
Thank you. First of all, I thank Shanta Madam for this opportunity and all the dignitaries and all the, I don't know what to say, all my brothers and sisters. A very good afternoon. So, నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడతాను, నాకు చాలా కంఫర్ట్గా ఉంటుంది. అంటే నా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్, ఇస్ ఇట్ ఫైన్ టు స్పీక్ ఇన్ తెలుగు? ఎవ్రీబడి అండర్స్టాండ్స్ రైట్? ఓకే. అంటే వేరే స్టేట్ నుండి ఉన్నారా? ఇట్స్ ఫైన్ కదా? ఓకే. సో అంటే నా జర్నీ నేను మన నేటివ్ లాంగ్వేజ్లో చెప్తే అది బాగుంటుంది. అంటే ఎంత కష్టపడ్డాను అనేది అది మన నేటివ్ లాంగ్వేజ్లోనే అర్థమవుతుంది, బాగా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయగలుగుతాం. సో నా జర్నీ నేను 13 yearsలో ఉన్నప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేశాను అడ్వెంచర్ స్పోర్ట్స్. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ I thank my parents for their support, especially my community people. Ante nenu ochindi, I'm a tribal girl. I think I don't know is it right to say or not. I'm a tribal girl. నేను ఒక చిన్న, అంటే మామూలుగా చాలామంది అనుకుంటారు ఒక పెద్ద ఫ్యామిలీ నుండి వస్తేనే ఏదైనా సాధించగలరు అనేది. అంటే ఎస్పెషలీ ఒక చిన్న విలేజెస్ నుండి వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు దే ఫీల్ దాట్. సో ఇప్పటికీ కూడా మా విలేజ్కి అప్పుడప్పుడు బస్సు వస్తుంది, అప్పుడప్పుడు రాదు. స్టిల్ మాకు హాస్పిటాలిటీ, ప్రాపర్ హాస్పిటాలిటీ లేదు, ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్, అండ్ కొందరికి అసలు ఏమంటారు హౌసెస్ కూడా లేవు. సో వెరీ హంబుల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అన్నట్టు. సో మై పేరెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఫార్మర్స్. మా ఇంట్లో నేను మా అన్నయ్య ఇద్దరమే. సో ఆ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ ఉంటుంది చూడండి. అంటే స్పెషలీ కమ్యూనిటీ, అంటే రూరల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్లో అమ్మాయి అబ్బాయి అనే డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ చూపిస్తారు, బట్ అది మా ఫ్యామిలీలో లేదు. ఐ థింక్ దట్ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ షుడ్ నాట్, ఐ మీన్ మన ఫ్యామిలీ నుండే, మన పేరెంట్స్ నుండే స్టార్ట్ అవ్వద్దు అనుకుంటాను. వాళ్ళ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ చూపించకపోతే బయట కూడా అది ఉండదు. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ ఈస్ డిఫరెంట్. బట్ ఆ గ్రౌండ్ నుండి, ఒక పల్లెటూరు నుండి ఈరోజు ప్రపంచం మొత్తం అంటే నా పేరు ఉంది అని అంటే ఇట్స్ ఆల్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ మై పేరెంట్స్ సపోర్ట్, అండ్ దెర్ ఆర్ మెనీ పీపుల్ హూ హ్యావ్ సపోర్టెడ్ మీ త్రూ అవుట్ మై జర్నీ. సో అక్కడి నుండి నేను ఇంత దూరం రావడం చాలా కష్టము. అండ్ అంటే మాలాగా అలాంటి, అంటే చిన్న గ్రౌండ్ నుండి మాకు ఆపర్చునిటీస్ రావడం ఇస్ ఎ గ్రేట్ థింగ్. సో నేను రెసిడెన్షియల్ స్కూల్, గవర్నమెంట్ స్కూల్లో చదువుతున్నప్పుడు ఐ వాజ్ వెరీ యాక్టివ్ ఇన్ స్పోర్ట్స్. సో దాట్ హౌ ఐ గాట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. అడ్వెంచర్ స్పోర్ట్స్ అనే ఇనిషియేటివ్, ఈ ఐడియా స్టార్ట్ చేసింది మాత్రం డాక్టర్ ఆర్ఎస్ ప్రవీణ్ కుమార్ సార్. హీ వాజ్ అన్ ఐపీఎస్ ఆఫీసర్. సో నేను చదువుతున్నప్పుడు 9th classలో ఉన్నాను. 13 years 4 months నేను నా అడ్వెంచర్ జర్నీ నేను స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు. I didn't know anything about adventure sports, whatever, rock climbing, mountains, అసలు మౌంట్ ఎవరెస్ట్ అంటే కూడా తెలియదు. సో అలాంటిది అంటే జనరల్గా నేను రియలైజ్ అయింది త్రూ అవుట్ మై జర్నీ. వాట్ ఐ రియలైజ్ ఇస్ లైక్ వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ సంథింగ్, యువర్ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్, వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ సంథింగ్ న్యూ డెఫినెట్లీ ఫియర్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. Definitely, because we didn't know anything about that plan or whatever you start. డెఫినెట్గా మనకి భయం వేస్తుంది. అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది ఫ్యూచర్లో, ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఎట్లుంటుందో అని చెప్పి చాలామంది దెల్ స్టెప్ బ్యాక్, చాలామంది డ్రాప్ అయిపోతూ ఉంటారు. అంటే నాట్ ఓన్లీ అడ్వెంచర్, ఎనీథింగ్, ఎనీ ఫీల్డ్. సో నా లైఫ్లో కూడా ఎప్పుడైతే నాకు ఈ ఆపర్చునిటీ వచ్చిందో దట్ టైమ్ ఇట్ వాజ్ కంబైన్డ్ స్టేట్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్. నా సబ్మిట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇట్ వాజ్ డివైడెడ్. సో అప్పుడు మోర్ దెన్ 300 స్కూల్స్, రెసిడెన్షియల్ స్కూల్స్ ఉండే. సో వాళ్ళు అంటే గవర్నమెంట్ తరఫున అంటే ప్రవీణ్ కుమార్ సార్ స్టార్టెడ్ దిస్ ఇనిషియేటివ్ లైక్ అడ్వెంచర్ స్పోర్ట్స్ కూడా ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయాలి పిల్లలకి, దట్ గివ్స్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ అండ్ కరేజ్ టు ది స్టూడెంట్స్, యూత్ అన్నట్టు హీ స్టార్టెడ్. And from every school, there are more than 300 schools. From each institution, they have selected two students. So 110 students participated for rock climbing training. That was my first step. So chala mandiki teliyadu. We have a rock climbing school at Bongir. Most of you know it is 40 kilometers from Hyderabad. We have a school 650 feet single rock, Asia's second highest, I guess. So single rock. We have a proper rock climbing training there. So na journey, na first step akkad nunde start ayindi. And of course, as I said, it was a scary thing for me. Very first day, 5 days training jarigindi. Very first day, nenu idu enduku cheptunnanu ani ante chaala mandi bayapadtuntaru life lo edanna kottadi start cheyali ante. But everything will learn, everything comes with experience. Of course, you all know, మీరందరూ కూడా ఏదో ఒకటి స్టార్ట్ చేసి ఇక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళే, లేదంటే ఏదో ఐడియాతోని ముందుకు వచ్చిన వాళ్ళే. ఎస్, సో వెరీ ఫస్ట్ డే 650 feet rock, complete single rock, and imagine I was 13 years as a small kid. It's 9 years ago. So I was 13 years and I was just looking at that rock, and surprisingly అసలు ఎవరైనా ఇది క్లైమ్ చేస్తారా, మమ్మల్ని తీసుకొచ్చి ఇక్కడ పెట్టారు ఇంత చిన్న పిల్లలము అని చెప్పేసి నేను షాక్ అయ్యి, there was so many doubts, questions are running in my mind and literally my body was shivering. God, how to climb this rock? ఏవో చాలా తిరుగుతూ ఉంది మైండ్లో, చాలా ఆలోచనలు. Then my instructors and coaches, they have introduced about rock climbing. They gave some tips and instructions about climbing gear and about climbing and everything. Then slowly started. So first maku nerpichedi how to balance our body on the rock, and that will give us a courage annattu. Ante manalo unna bayam anedi povadaniki adi chepistaru. So that is like slope. We have to go up, climb up without any support. They'll give some instructions, but still మేము పైకి వెళ్ళిపోయాము, 100-150 meters పైకి వెళ్ళిపోయాము. ఇట్ వాజ్ లైక్ స్లోప్. అండ్ పైకి వెళ్ళిపోయిన తర్వాత వెళ్ళడం చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తూ, అంటే లైక్ విత్ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్. బట్ వీ వెంట్ అప్, అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ రీచింగ్ సమ్ సర్టెన్ పాయింట్ వీ లుక్డ్ బ్యాక్ అండ్ చూస్తే మొత్తం కిందికి కనిపిస్తుంది. అంటే రాక్ అన్నప్పుడు ఇట్స్ రఫ్, ఇస్ నో గ్రిప్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్. మనమే చిన్న చిన్న గ్రిప్స్ వెతుక్కొని వీ హ్యావ్ టు కమ్ డౌన్. సో చాలామంది గోయింగ్ అప్ ఇస్ హార్డ్ బట్ కమింగ్ డౌన్ ఈజీ అనుకుంటారు. బట్ గోయింగ్ అప్ దానికంటే ఒక 5% రిస్క్ వెన్ యూ కమ్ డౌన్ ఓన్లీ, డిసెండ్ అయ్యేటప్పుడే ఉంటుంది. సో పైకి వెళ్ళిపోయి రిటర్న్ చూసి ఇంకా భయం వేస్తుంది, ఎట్లా దిగాలి అంటే ఒక పొజిషన్లో మనం చైర్లో కూర్చున్న ఈ పొజిషన్లో దిగుతాం అన్నట్టు కిందికి. సో బాడీ లీన్ బ్యాక్, బాడీ బ్యాక్ ఉండి ఒక పొజిషన్లో దిగాలి. దట్స్ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్. అండ్ నమ్మరు, హోల్ ఎంటైర్ బాడీ ఈజ్ జస్ట్ షివరింగ్. అట్లనే భయపడుతూ దిగుతూ ఉన్నాము. సడన్లీ వన్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ టీమ్ మెంబర్, ఒక అమ్మాయి, షీ జస్ట్ ఫెల్ డౌన్. సో కిందికి పడిపోతూ ఉంటే కింద ఆల్రెడీ ఒక ఇద్దరు ఇన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్ ఉంటారు. వన్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్టర్ వాజ్ ట్రైయింగ్ టు స్టాప్ హర్, బట్ ఆయనను కూడా నెట్టేసి అమ్మాయి కింద పడిపోయింది. సో తల పగిలిపోయి షీ హ్యాడ్ 4 stitches ఆన్ ద హెడ్. సో ఆ తర్వాత కూడా చూడండి, షీఈస్ వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్. వాట్ షీ సెడ్ ఇస్, అంటే మా ఇన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్ దే టోల్డ్ హర్ టు గో బ్యాక్ అండ్ టేక్ రెస్ట్. But she said, this is the only opportunity I got and I don't want to miss this. And I'm doing well. If I feel anything like అంటే నాకేమన్నా బాగా లేదన్నట్టు అనిపిస్తే I'll go back. Then she continued the training. That's how, అంటే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ కమ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్. అంటే మనము ఏదైనా స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి అని అంటే దట్ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. whatever if it is new, if you don't know anything about it, just go through it. Whatever, grab it, go through it. అంటే నేను నేర్చుకుంది ఏంటంటే జనరల్ వే అందరూ 10 మంది వెళ్ళే దాంట్లో వెళ్తే ఏం ఉండదు. when you take something, a new route, a different right turn, it is hard, difficult, dark, whatever, but that will take you to reach your dream or goal, whatever. Take you to one good position. So that's what I realized after my basic and advanced course. And tarvata 6 months training jarigindi. Then we went to, there was a selection process. Out of 110, 20, out of 29, out of 9 they have selected 4 for Mount Everest expedition, but our government wants to support for only 2. Then they have selected, finalized 2 students. So yes, I was one of them. I am the one. So imagine, training part is different. Imagine I was 13 years 10 months నేను ఎవరెస్ట్ ఎక్స్పిడిషన్కి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు, and I started when I was 13 years 4 months. Just 13 years, ఇమాజిన్ చేయండి. ఇక్కడ చలికాలం వస్తే మనం అందరము వేడి కోసం చూస్తాము, దుప్పట్లు కప్పేసుకొని స్వెటర్స్ వేసేసుకొని ఉంటాము. +45 ఇక్కడ మనకి సమ్మర్, +45, 46. బట్ అక్కడ సమ్మర్లోనే ఇప్పుడు ఏప్రిల్ మేలో క్లైమ్ చేస్తాం మౌంట్ ఎవరెస్ట్. నా టెంపరేచర్ ఇప్పుడు ఎంత ఉంటుందంటే -50 degrees ఆన్ మౌంట్ ఎవరెస్ట్ ఎక్స్పిడిషన్. సో డ్యూరింగ్ ఎవరెస్ట్ ఎక్స్పిడిషన్, సో మనం ఫ్రిడ్జ్లో -5 degrees 6 degrees నాకు ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా ఐడియా లేదు, బట్ అందులో పెట్టిన వాటర్ కాసేపటికి ఫ్రీజ్ అయిపోతాయి. బట్ అక్కడ మేము ఏడిస్తే మా కన్నీళ్ళు ఇక్కడ వరకు కూడా రావు, దే విల్ ఫ్రీజ్ హియర్ ఓన్లీ. దాట్ టెంపరేచర్, అంత టెంపరేచర్ ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ మనం పైకి వెళ్తున్న కొద్దీ ఆక్సిజన్ లెవెల్స్ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. సో అవర్ బాడీ, మన బాడీలో ఉన్న బ్లడ్ విల్ బికమ్ థిక్. సో దెన్ ద మౌంటైన్ సిక్నెస్ విల్ స్టార్ట్, లైక్ హెడేక్, వామిటింగ్స్, స్టమక్ పెయిన్, మెనీ, హైపోథర్మియా వస్తుంది కొందరికి. సో మెనీ రీజన్. అండ్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ అవర్ బ్రెయిన్ విల్ నాట్ వర్క్ ప్రాపర్లీ. వీ విల్ నాట్ నో వాట్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ యాజ్ వీ గో అప్. సో కొందరు ఏమేమి చేస్తారో వాళ్ళకి అర్థం కాదు, వాళ్ళ మీద చేయడం, వీళ్ళ మీద, దట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. సో ఇలాంటి ఇబ్బందులు వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు క్యారీ like after 7,700, 600 meters, we have to use oxygen, artificial oxygen cylinder. Each cylinder 4 kgs. We have to carry 6 to 7 cylinders per person. So almost we have to carry like 20 kgs of bag, extra food, extra clothing and everything. That's hard. And yes, again, I was 13 and I did this. So on May 25th, 2014, I made it. Manam Mount Everest paiki reach avadam jarigindi early morning. So then after inka ante then aa tarvata I got to know that it became a world's that I was become a world's youngest girl. So that is one. And I climbed Everest, and there are 2 ways to climb Mount Everest. One is from Nepal and another route is from Tibet. So I climbed from Tibet because there are 2 reasons. Below 16 years are not allowed from Nepal, and I was 13. So there was no rule from Tibet side that time. There was no age limit or something. So there are 2 reasons. One is I was minor, like there's no rule, so I was 13, I climbed from that route. And my coach is Shekhar Babu. He's Arjuna awardee in adventure. He climbed Everest in 2007. So he knows each and every step of that route. So he trained us like that. So I took that route. So that's how the entire expedition was taken like 52 days. So it takes like, depends on the weather. Few people will take like 45 days, 50 days, 38 days, like depends on the weather conditions. And that year, 16 people were died on Nepal side, and all the expeditions were cancelled from Nepal. So, and because of avalanche, weather was not so good. So, appadiki ma adrushtame anukovali. One day, only one day we got a clear weather, and that too till 12 noon, 12 o'clock. So that was happened, and then after that expedition, after that achievement, I decided to climb all continents' highest mountains as a passion. And so far, I've done all continents' highest mountains and become the youngest, Asia's youngest female. I mean, youngest female, yeah. So nobody is there from South India. I'm the only who completed all 7 summits. And few other Indian mountains, and my recent expedition was unnamed, unclimbed mountain, which was located in Ladakh last year in August. As part of like Project Shakti and oka initiative start chesam to help underprivileged girls for their education, as for cause. So now we have an opportunity to like a name pettadaniki, so to put a name for that mountain. So we only opened the route and climbed the mountain, 6,000 meter peak. And recently, so that is different, passion is different, and very less women are there in adventure. So I wanted to like make it as my profession. So now I am the one of the board director of Transcend Adventures company, which is almost 10-12 years old company. My coach, working with him. So recently I led a team of 23 to Everest Base Camp trek, till Everest Base Camp. So that is my journey, and yes, of course, I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and now this is my profession. So, inka chala ideas unnai, but very soon, idi a good platform, I think, to elaborate our businesses or whatever, and to come up with the idea, and a great support from like our government and everyone. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, ma'am, especially to you for this opportunity to share my experience and thoughts. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Malavat Purna, for sharing with us your insights and experiences. A visionary leader who has made significant contributions to the city of Hyderabad and has been instrumental in its growth and development. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to our chief guest for this evening, Srimati Hema Samla, Honorable GHMC Corporator of Hyderabad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her.
A warm good afternoon to one and all. Firstly, I would like to thank Shanta Garu for inviting me to this such a great event. And my name is Samala Hema. I am GHMC Corporator, and this is my second term. I have got into the politics in 2016. As part of TRS government, there was a women reservation, 50% reservation was provided by our CM KCR Garu. And 2016, I have got into politics. I have a zero knowledge in politics actually. I'm from an IT background. I worked in Cognizant, Google and Genpact for 2.5 years. And then I was about to fly for my higher studies. But fortunately, I've got an opportunity from PRS government to contest as a GHMC corporator, and our MLA and visionary leader KTR Garu has given me this opportunity and encouraged all the youngsters to get into the politics. So I'm very happy, and because I always feel that I was not into aggregation. Telangana టైంలో తెలంగాణ రావడానికి మేము చాలా చిన్న ఉండే అప్పుడు, లైక్ ఐ వాజ్ లైక్ 15 years or 16 years of age. బట్ ఆ టైంలో తెలంగాణ మూమెంట్లో మాకు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసే అవకాశం లేకుండే. బట్ దెన్ తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ దట్ ఐఎమ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ గవర్నమెంట్ అండ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ తెలంగాణ డెవలప్మెంట్. So I heartily thank Shanta Garu. Really, it was a great pleasure to be part of this G20 and Y20 event. Actually, I am pursuing my PhD in OU, and my research is on T-Hub and V-Hub. So this is a platform where I get an opportunity to learn many things. And Shanta Garu was, I think she's a mentor for me here in T-Hub. She always helped me and guide me in my research. So I'm really very happy. And thank you once again. It was a great and pleasure being part of this event. So as part of this, I think I've written few points to discuss about this mental and digital health issues which we are actually facing in this generation. So mental health is just as important as a physical health. So usually we get into stress every day, and we work under stress actually. Every day we work under stress, but we have to overcome that. So to overcome, youth has to know like how to overcome the stress and all. So based on that, young people need not to worry about it. We have many resources to get over this stress and anxiety, depression. We have many tools, and basically digital tool can be a great way to promote mental health. These tools can help young people track their moods, learn cope mechanism, and connect with other people who's going through with similar experiences. Young people can be leaders as well to promote this mental and digital health. They can be a voice to bring out the awareness about this mental health issues, challenges that we are facing in present generation. As a young woman politician, I believe it's important to invest in mental health on a youth. I will work on it and expand the access to mental health service to young people. This includes funding on school-based mental health issues like clinics, and also teleservice and other programs which make it easy to understand the problems that we are facing at a stress level. Educate young people about this includes teaching about the significance, signs and symptoms of mental health conditions and stress that we are overgoing. I believe that by investing the mental health of our youth, we can create healthier and happier future for our next generation. In addition to the above, I would like to empathize few points on COVID-19 pandemic, which was, we have gone through many issues in this pandemic thing. There are many people who have got stressed out, anxiety and all. The digital world can be a great resource for young people, but it can also be source to stress and anxiety. Young people need to be aware of the risk of social media and other digital platforms, and they need to know how to use the tools in a healthier way. I believe that parents, teachers and other adults plays a vital role in this promoting mental health in young generation. We need to create a supportive system to overcome all these issues where young people feel comfortable talking about their problems and also discuss what exactly they are going through in day-to-day life. I also urge you all to be part of this to improve our mental health in our youth generation. Together we can create this, together we can create a brighter and better future in coming days. I hope we all can overcome all these issues. So basically, మన డే టు డే లైఫ్లో ఏదో ఒక విషయంలో మనం స్ట్రెస్ అవుతుంటాం, ఐదర్ ఇన్ ఫ్యామిలీ ఆర్ ఇన్ యూనో జాబ్ పర్పస్ అయినా, లేదంటే బయట విషయాలు ఏ విషయానికైనా మనం ఈజీగా స్ట్రెస్ అవుట్ అయ్యి చాలామంది యాంగ్జైటీ అయ్యి డిప్రెషన్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయి ఏం చేయాలో అర్థం కాక డిస్కస్ చేయలేక మనకి ఆ ప్రొవిజన్ లేక చాలామంది ఇబ్బంది పడుతున్నారు. సో దాన్ని దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని మనం అందరం కూడా ఒక ఫ్రెండ్లీ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్, పేరెంట్సే చిన్న ఉన్నప్పటి నుంచి పిల్లలకి ఆ కనెక్టివిటీ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే డెఫినెట్గా వాళ్ళు ఇలాంటి ఇన్సిడెంట్స్, అంటే ఇవాళ రేపు చిన్న ఏదైనా ఇన్సిడెంట్ కాగానే హార్ట్కి తీసుకొని సూసైడ్ లాంటి పెద్ద పెద్ద ఐ మీన్ ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ జరుగుతున్నాయి. సో అది అవాయిడ్ చేయడానికి పేరెంట్సే పిల్లల్ని మోటివేట్ చేయాలి. ఏదైనా కూడా ఫెయిల్యూర్ కాదు, డెఫినెట్గా వి ఆల్వేస్ థింక్ లైక్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఇస్ అ సక్సెసింగ్ స్టెప్పింగ్ స్టోన్ ఫర్ అవర్ ఫ్యూచర్. సో ఫెయిల్ అవ్వగానే మనం ఏమనుకుంటాం, ఇంకా అయిపోయింది, ఇంకా మన లైఫ్ ఇంతే, ఇంకా మనం ఇంకా నెక్స్ట్ మనకి ఫ్యూచర్ అనేది లేదు అనేది మనం అనుకుంటాం. కానీ మనం ఎప్పుడైతే పిల్లల్ని ఆ ఏజ్ నుంచి మోటివేట్ చేసి సర్టన్ ఏజ్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఆ ఛాలెంజెస్ని ఫేస్ చేయడానికి, ఆ స్ట్రెస్ని ఓవర్కమ్ కావడానికి మనం అందరం కూడా ఒక ఆ కంఫర్ట్ జోన్ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తే డెఫినెట్గా ఇట్లాంటి ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ కాకుండా ఉంటాయని నేను భావిస్తున్నాను. అదే కాకుండా ఒక అంటే ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా మనము మన లైఫ్లో బిజీ అయిపోతాం. అంటే జనరల్గా పక్కన వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడింది మనకి ఎందుకులే అని చాలామంది ఫీల్ అవుతూ ఉంటాం. నాది కాదు కదా ఇంపార్టెంట్, నాది కాదు కదా, వాడి ప్రాబ్లం వాడికి ఉంది, నాకెందుకు అని చాలామంది నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేస్తాం. బట్ ఇఫ్ సమ్వన్ ఈజ్ షేరింగ్ ఓపెన్లీ దే ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, కైండ్లీ లిజన్ టు దట్, అంటే అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకొని వాళ్ళకు సొల్యూషన్, మీరు మాట్లాడిన మాట వాడికి భరోసాను కల్పిస్తుంది. సో మనం ఎప్పుడైతే వాళ్ళతో ఫ్రెండ్లీగా ఫ్రీగా వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ని ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారో దాన్ని మనము విని, అఫ్కోర్స్ మనం దానికి సొల్యూషన్ ఇవ్వలేకపోవచ్చు, బట్ ఒక భరోసాని కల్పిస్తే డెఫినెట్గా ఇలాంటి ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ కాకుండా ఉంటాయని నేను భావిస్తున్నాను. సో యూ పీపుల్ ఆర్ మేకింగ్ మీ స్కేర్ యాక్చువల్లీ. అండ్ అట్లా సీరియస్గా చూస్తూ ఐఎమ్ లైక్ ఫీలింగ్ నర్వస్ అండ్ టెన్స్డ్. So whenever I come here, I feel very happy. I always feel that I am in my ex-professional IT service lo unnani. But getting into politics, being with all senior people, I was like so frozen. And itla oka limit lo undali, nenu inte nenu maatladali, inte nenu cheyalanna aa system lo unde, ante inka konda naku aa comfort zone rale. But when I come here, I always feel that I am with my friends and I'm actually having a good time. So I really thank once again Shanta Garu for inviting me, and thanks for your patience. I know I haven't spoke much, but because itla sudden I got to know yesterday itself, so it was very short, but still I'm very happy. I hope I will continue coming to these kind of programs, may not be as a guest but as an audience, because I still have a great time to learn many things, and it also helped me in my PhD. So thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hema, for sharing your valuable insights. I now request Dr. Shanta to give away a token of appreciation.
Seriously, guys, this is after lunch, I know, but cheer up a bit. You're scaring the speakers for sure. Even I felt too when I was talking, I was like, are they guys connecting to me or not? Like, is it just like kind of going off your head? But please cheer up. And do you need some sweet? Some sugar? Sweet? We'll get some sugar or some sweets or some chocolates for you guys. Should we? Okay, let's get going. Thank you.
Raghu Dutt Deval is a trained sports psychologist and a life skill trainer, and he has been assisting the young generation, especially the students community, for the last 10 years. He's currently working as a consultant mental toughness coach for sports, founder of a community organization called the Good Talk Factory, founder and CEO of a Hyderabad-based startup. So let's all welcome Raghu onto the stage to share his valuable insights. That's a crazy pic of mine. It's okay. I'm still here, so chill.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the entire conversations which are happening, and thank you so much for bringing, people to be more closer than just be busy with their own conversations. Before I start, I got a hint. They try to make it 10 minutes. Trust me, I will try. You asked me to try. I cannot assure you. Anyways, how are you? Take 2. How are you? Take 3. How are you? Bang on. Now, before I kickstart my conversation, hey, it's not Devala. Please take off the footer. Take off the entire thing. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. Before we get into the conversation of what I'm here, why I'm here, and what I really want to have a conversation on, like Shanta said, we need some high spirits. And yeah, she was asking, what do you need? Tell us. I'm going to give you what you need. Okay? A 5 seconds activity. Hello? Hi, cool. Raise your hand. Whichever hand is comfortable. You know how to use your fist, right? Hold it tight. Hold your fist tight. Yeah. Make a fist. Absolute tight fist. Absolute tight. Absolute. Ask your neighbor to open it. And you have to put it tight. No cheating. No cheating. I hate cheatings. You're sitting with your friends. Ah, cool, crazy. And now open it. Okay. Thoda more. Please. Don't hurt. I'm not going to pay the bills. Now, raise your hands again. Hold it tight again. Now you try to use it and remove it and unlock it. Use your other hand to unlock it. No change. You know, what we are trying to do in our life is a similar thing. We are trying to hold things so tight that we started feeling suffocation. Now, simple thing I want you to do is raise your hand, put up your fist, absolutely tight, and don't hit your head with a hammer. Poof, open it. Leave it. And that's what I'm here today. I'm wearing 3 hats today. A hat of a founder of an NGO called the Good Talk Factory, free promotions with my t-shirts. Second, I'm wearing a hat of a founder of a startup, Kitec Innovations. Thanks to TSIC, we are getting into a next zone of life. And third one, which is never spoken, sports psychologist. Now, I would like to kickstart something very crazy. The role of youth in healthcare and well-being. By the way, thank you so much for making me feel I'm still a youth. Of course, we are all, but still. And healthcare and well-being, something which is absolutely unnoticed versions when it comes to youth, because most of the times when we speak, youth are into either ITs or into some other businesses. But well-being, mental well-being, people call it, physical well-being, people call it, cool. But I'm not going to talk about the bigger picture, because I'm a person who talks about the smaller pictures. I'm the one who speaks about a small dots, which makes a bigger river altogether. I'm going to talk about stigmas and solutions. Thanks to my friend Pranay who suggested me, can we talk around stigmas? Yep, very cliche to say. Youth is the backbone. Without youth, the country's development won't happen. Got it. But what exactly are we trying to do with that young nature in our hearts and minds? So in this presentation, I'm going to talk about very few stigmas. I know there's so many stigmas, and you can ask ChatGPT, it will give you 100 stigmas. But I just asked very few. So ChatGPT being very friendly to me, very unbiased conversation happened with me. It did not even took inspiration from my body, because it doesn't know how body works. And these steps that I really got it in a picture today morning: connect, inspire, empower, act. Today we are trying to connect here. Today we are trying to inspire with each other's journey and conversations. And of course, its entire game plan is to empower the youth to build a better nation, to build a better society, especially when it comes to the well-being. And the fourth one, that's where probably we are going to have a brainstorming session on. How are we going to act? Because 3 things any Tom, Dick and Harry can do. But the fourth part is pretty tough, and that's why people don't do. Oh yeah, you name it. You have synonyms for stigma. Such a posh word. And I heard from one of my friends, use a simple word, perspective. Bang on. I'm going to talk about 4. Mental health, substance abuse, body image, and gender identity. I'm super proud of today's event, especially appreciate all the TSIC for bringing this up because we have all these 4 people right here in this room. Can we give a huge round of applause for entire community to bringing us together? My favorite. You know, I avoided a picture of any human because every human has got hands holding each other, people sticking with each other. Then I realized, what about people who doesn't have hands? How can I represent them? That's where I decided to use that, smaller ones. This is disturbing. Don't worry. So, discriminations is a part of the upbringing. It's fine. But how are we going to encounter it? How are we going to move forward with that? Is all the conversation stigma we talk about. I've been a part of the training community for the last 10 years. Fortunately, day before yesterday, I was awarded the best employee for no reason for impacting the youth for the last 10 years, which is really appreciating. But every time I meet the youngsters, a few of them say, sir, I feel I'm depressed. Now I'm asking them, can you use a simpler word called being sad? Because the entire journey, we forgot that there is something called being sad. If you understand what's being sad, then you'll never enter what's being into a depression. And that's where my conversations today have been. Cliched. Everybody talks about bigger picture. Let me talk about the solution in smaller picture. Can we have open conversations? Can we have gratitude towards each other? Can we have the mental stigma that people say, अरे यार तेरे दिमाग सही नहीं है. हाँ पापा मैं साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाना चाहता हूँ. अरे पागल थोड़ी बन गया तू. Stereotypes. Yes, even I as a mental toughness coach, I also seek professional help because a doctor needs a doctor. And why is it taboo? Lack of awareness. That's my key point here. Provide access to mental health resources. Not just for people who are privileged. Every individual should have access to attain the knowledge about mental health. And break down stereotypes. The simplest thing to do. It doesn't cost any GST, fortunately. Break it down. Free of cost. So that's the mental health picture, first stigma that we're going to talk about. Substance abuse. People don't talk about this because people feel we are addictives. How many of us are not addicted to something? We are all. I'm addicted to my TGTF. I'm addicted to people who love me. Substance addiction is also a part of the life, but how are we addressing it? By making conversations much more simpler. Issues tha depression mein, I took a couple of pills. Bring me out of it. Don't tell me you're using substances. How can we educate them? Promote harm reduction and educate about risks and consequences. Educate is a key word I'm trying to address today. And emphasis on compassion. Where is this word compassion left from this earth? Only during COVID we saw it. I thought post-COVID compassion will take it to the peak. But then it has completely been derailed. Now last point I'm going to talk about is encourage open conversations, because every slide you see the word called open conversations. Especially I talk about this because I run an NGO where we open conversations for everyone who's got a story. That's why we say, live your story. Unjudged, unbiased. We respect you for what you are. And that's where we break the stereotypes. Body image stigma. Oh my God, I've been a victim of ableism ever since I understood the life. I've been a victim of inspiration porn. Arey yaar, isko dekho. Agar ye kar sakta to tu kyun nahi? Chalo, I have jumped 11,000 feet skydiving in 2015 in US. Can you do it? Then who is disabled, you or me? Simple questions. Makes more sense. The body thing. And we all forgot a simple solution for the body thing is the body perishes. And we give too much of encouragement to that body. We need to protect it. We should not carry forward it. Respect our body. I respect my body. People say, why don't you use prosthetic arms? I said, I'm natural in the way I am. And I'm reworking on my strategies. So encourage the values of diversity. Respect everybody, not everybody. Everybody matters, and respect them no matter what. Because at the end of the day, we all perish. Only memories stay together. And yeah, my favorite thing, media literacy. गोरे होना चाहते हो? Use some sort of a cream. मैं दिल से गोरा हूं, अब उसका क्या करूं? Please educate your people. The youngsters, we need to educate ourselves first. Those are all advertisements for business. Appreciate their courtesy of doing it. But for us, however we are the way we are best in it. Please respect our bodies. And the last one, gender identity. People don't talk about it. Male, female. And my sweet suggestion to TSIC, because I'm very closely associated with you all, from next time, can we stop using ladies and gentlemen? Can we just start using hello everyone? That's where we are breaking the stigma. Because we are a community of different genders, and we have to appreciate every gender matters on this earth. Let's talk. Let's address. And the key word I'm trying to use here is inclusivity. Not just on paper, in implementation. And that's where all of us can really make sense. And the last one, train people in understanding what are these terms. He, she, they, them. Try people to understand it. And I'll quickly rush through this because I think we're going to talk about these policy changes anyways in the brainstorming, so I'm not going to touch line on these things. I'm just going through it. And in conclusion, I would say, no single entity can bring development of any country. No single individual, 2 minutes and I'm done. No single individual can actually bring a change in the entire society. It is togetherness. Like if your 5 fingers that you have, if you have, are not same, then people inside, outside, around are not same. Can we join everybody together and move towards progress of this nation, especially in the healthcare, especially in the well-being? And then evaluate the policies, not just make it. Evaluate it, address the need. And I'm not here to talk about a motivation, I'm here to talk about implementation, because motivation will perish in a minute. Implementation will work for your next future generations, because whatever we are trying to do today is not for us. It's for the next generation to enjoy the fruits. And my last slide to my favorite youngsters in this room, including me. Yeah. The youth are the architects of a healthier future. And trust me, it's our energies, our innovations, and passions that hold the key to unlocking new solutions. And we are supposed to be the key to unlock it. Driving positive change across. I know 2 years, positive word has become so negative. Let's bring back positivity again. And finally, ensure that health and well-being are accessible. Please understand this word. Accessible, equitable, and sustainable. And that's what I'm here today to share my version of story of life, because everybody has a story and every story is worth experiencing. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, Raghu, for sharing all those insights. I now call upon stage Pranay Kumar Nalla, Head of Government Innovation and Partnerships, to give away a token of appreciation.
Arun Daniel Yelameti Kumar is a former journalist, social entrepreneur, artist, and the founder, director of India's largest volunteer-driven non-profit organization, Youngistan. His journey began in 2014 and until 2023. He has made significant impact by supporting over 5 million lives across 60 cities in India. This was made possible through the collective efforts of over 70,000 young volunteers and 150 plus partners involved in 7 active programs aligned with 8 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In 2022, Arun was the only person from the Telugu states to be selected for the repeated International Visitors Leadership Program sponsored by the US Department of State on Youth and Civic Engagement, Youth Activism. I would now request Arun to take over the stage.
Thank you, Larry, for the future dream that you set for me. That was 60 countries. So someday we're going to start working in 60 countries for sure. But again, a good afternoon for everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm just going to see 7 minutes, 5 minutes. I'll try to wrap up at the earliest. But before we start, I have a small video for you. You might have seen the video before. If you haven't watched it, then rewatch it. Or if you watched it, you rewatch it. If not, you can quickly see it. It's not a promotional video, okay? I'm not being paid for it, so.
स्पोर्ट्स एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर सब्जेक्ट कब
Somebody watched it before? No.
एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर स्पोर्ट्स एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर सब्जेक्ट कब बन गया? जिस सब्जेक्ट से हम जिंदगी भर सीखते हैं, जिस सब्जेक्ट के मार्क्स ना होते हुए भी ये हमें लाइफ के हर एग्जाम में फुल मार्क्स लाना सिखाता है।
Oh, that's close, very close indeed. Things are now getting bad to worse for him. Performance this season. Now the big question is whether he can make a comeback.
जो हमें कभी मैदान छोड़ना नहीं सिखाता, जो हमें हार कर वापस जीतना भी सिखाता है। कभी अकेले तो कभी एक साथ टीम बनकर खेलना सिखाता है। ये सिर्फ एक्स्ट्रा सब्जेक्ट नहीं, ये जिंदगी का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है। तो चलो इसमें से एक्स्ट्रा निकालकर इसे मेन सब्जेक्ट बनाते हैं।
Yeah, that's been my story of life. There are two things I thought I'll share. One is the study highlights how important sports and fitness activities are. I know I was speaking to somebody who's a basketball player, and I was telling I always used to be like the Shaquille O'Neal, Kali with basket ke niche. I used to stand and put the basket. But it's so important for overall physical, emotional well-being of children, young people, and all of us. Or not all of us, includes me. But it's so important. I'll quickly take you through my journey. I grew up playing gully cricket. How many of you play gully cricket anymore? How many of you play 7 stones anymore? Nobody plays. So that's my childhood. I come from a very tight family. I used to live in a 5 of us, me and my 4 sisters. We used to live in a house of 2 rooms. And I always wanted to be out of home. There were times where I didn't have proper meals, etc. But one thing kept me together was sports. I used to be out playing games. How many of you remember any बचपन में क्या गेम्स खेलते थे? Don't say Ludo on phone. Hide and seek. Out. Coco, the Coco, amazing. I remember Tokkud Billa. How many of you remember that word? Tokkud Billa, These are the games that I grew up playing, and that kept me together, It made me have a community in person. I used to have friends who used to come kidnap me from home, and my parents used to worry, I think they used to be on a chai chalega, I'm just kidding. But, they used to have so much good time. So that was my childhood. And one thing kept me in school, was sports. Cricket was the only thing that kept me in school. I never was a great student. I used to I still remember I used to be just pass, 30 grace mark bolte the dekho. You remember? You used to 39 marks and then you go tell teacher, please 1 mark. Pass, I come from that category, 40 marks that would pass. And that's the only thing that kept me in school, that kept me in college. And I used to be, I played for, cricket, Ranji Probles I played. One thing that I couldn't, continue, I have a lot of friends now playing in IPL and all. But I didn't pursue is because I didn't have cricket gear. So I had to wait for my friend to get out so that I could use his bat. So, but, didn't get too many opportunities. But that kept me in school and continued. I'm trying to tell how important sports and other activities are. So these are things that I've learned. So I wanted to, pass it on in opportunities that I had, So, we started Youngistan and, this is like a little small introduction. And under health, what we started doing was, I'm not telling you this what we have done, but I'm also giving you some suggestions where you can also see yourself doing, getting involved. Some suggestions that can help you venture out in programs that you want to start. I'm sure you might be thinking. One of the things is working with children. We have a program that works with children on social emotional learning and having various activities. One of the things that I continue to do is having activities, having carnivals for children. You should see our carnival. Go to YouTube and check. Children go bizarre and they broke, I still remember one kid broke his hand and was still continuing to play. And it was like the desperation of being active. That is something we don't see anymore. And we do a lot of sports visits, etc. Someday that basketball player was here. If you become like big NBA player, please let our children come and watch your game as well. Well-being through volunteering. I was telling that, Youngistan is a volunteering platform. We've engaged them into works that we do. But one of the greatest things they say is how if you volunteer, it's also very good for you. I will give you a small story. There's one volunteer who came to Youngistan one Sunday and they volunteered and they left for the day. And next day they met me and they said, Arun, thank you so much for letting me volunteer. And I said, thank you, please come and volunteer. They said, no, you don't understand. It was a special day for me. I said, why? They said that day was supposedly to be my last day. I came to volunteer and I wanted to end my life that evening. But then my perception of life changed. I want to do more for people today. And that person ended up still volunteering with us. It's been 5 years that person is still volunteering. The impact of when you give, a lot of things come back. Okay? Third, we work with a lot of homeless people, One of the things when you work with homeless people is young people die soon, is because a lot of substance abuse. If you notice or not, you'll find a lot of young people inhaling whiteness on ground. And I remember there was this one kid who we were trying to help out and that guy died when he was 22 years because he didn't have a family to look after him, There's so much of substance abuse going on, how you and me, what we do is we counsel young people, bring them out of this, substance abuse that they get very free on ground, okay? It's very difficult to work with young people, especially people living on streets. So that is something we try and do as part of our working with homeless people. And one of our very a great program is working with girls in communities on menstrual hygiene and, and creating awareness on various conversations that we have with even trans men. So this is another health program that we are running at the organization. So I think my slides are done. I just want to encourage you today, as you are sitting here and going to spend some time discussing of what you wanted to change the world. I'm sure you are getting into this because you want to change the world. You want your lives to be different, your people's life to be different. So you can take some points from this and you can be the change makers that you never have dreamt of. Believe me, you cannot dream of what you can do. There are way beyond things that you can do. That's it from me. We'll be talking to you more again. We're going to interact more. So this is a small learning so that you could start thinking. Over to the team.
I would like to call upon Pranay and Allah once again to give a token of appreciation to Arun.
Thank you so much, Arun, and thank you so much, Ali, Malawat, Purna, Raghu, and Arun for setting the context to what's coming up in the brainstorming session that we have as a follow-up activity. By now, I hope everybody has been aware of what is it that is going to be discussed in the group discussion, and in fact, Ali had rightly set the context of where are these insights going to be taken for and where are they going to be presented also, right? Because like all these 25 to 30 people that are there in this room, they're out there from all, not just the urban cities, but also tier 2 towns where these sessions are happening. And all of this being communicated to the central government on a policy level interventions. And the topics are very clear for you guys. And we've shared a Google Drive link with you on the precursor to what you have to consume in terms of what has to be discussed. Now, the following session is the Y20 brainstorming session on the topic of health, well-being, and sports. And this will be moderated by Arun Daniel Yelamati of Youngistan Foundation, and we've got a flow which I'm aware that Arun would be explaining it to you as to how do we take it. But nevertheless, what we're very, very excited about before we commence the main discussion is also to understand from your end what is the organization that you're representing, because there's so many other people who would want to listen and understand which organizations are coming in, because it's amazing to just come and witness in the fact that in such sensitive space or a sector, you have so many people at an individual capacity and an organization capacity doing so much. And not just somebody who's passed out from a college or somebody who's professional, but people at very young age, even from schools who've started, say, a communities or a campaigns running on this space in their capacity. So once I leave it to you now in terms of how do we go with the next, once we, I think, commence with the lightning introductions of everybody out here and then move to the group discussion.
All right, so we're going to be starting with the lightning introductions now. I believe Ashmit's going to be going first.
So my name is Ashmit Tanwala and I'm the founder of Vibhag Foundation. We look after the health and hygiene of the senior citizens and the youth of the country. I am 19 years old. I started this foundation when I was 16. I mainly started it as a project for my school, but then my passion to help others make me take it forward. Thank you.
Hello all, I am Kashyap BK, currently pursuing my bachelor's in business administration. I am 20 and I am a part of a startup called Kaladev, which focuses on students' holistic development. When I say holistic, it is physical health, mental health, sports, and history, mythology, and different other aspects as well. We try to educate people right from storytelling to emotion management, financial literacy, media literacy, and etc. Thank you.
Hi everyone.
everyone. My name is Shivani Tiprani. I'm 18 and I recently graduated high school. And I'm the co-founder of an organization called Therapy. It stands for Student Therapy, and it's a mental health organization solely run by students and teenagers. And we basically focus on raising awareness about mental health in the rural communities and also creating a student support system online. These days, because of the abuse of social media, there's a negative perspective about it, but we want to teach students and help them learn and unlearn how they can use the internet to actually benefit them, especially in such a fast-paced world. And I'm honored to be invited here, and it's been great to hear stories from other people as well. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chitrali. I'm the co-founder of an organization called What Is My Goal. We make students live in their future careers, and we represent the under 18 world. So be it in any career, say health, wellness, or sports, we help them experience the careers. We make them live in these careers and, give them a holistic approach to life.
Hi everyone, this is Tarun. I run a company called Find Hope. We are backed by the government of India. We are primarily a technology company, but we focus on making therapy accessible to college students. So we have a small AI chatbot on WhatsApp, which students use to get a taste of what happens in therapy. It essentially solves the three main problems for therapy, which is awareness, accessibility, and affordability, because it's completely free and it's right there on WhatsApp and it's all anonymous. It solves all these three problems. Looking forward to connecting with you all. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Tirtha. I am a high school student. I'm 17 years old and I am a basketball player. I have represented Telangana at nationals multiple times, under 18 and under 16. Thank you. Hi everybody, a very warm good afternoon, which is quite literally warm. I'm Rida Saher and I'm a 12th grader at Shrek International School. I'm the head of operations at an organization called Scintilla, and I'm with my founder here today, Veda Vadakatu. Now, when we talk about mental health on a broader spectrum, the only words that sort of come up to our mind are depression and anxiety. But the one thing that we sort of ignore within the broader spectrum of mental health is mental disability. So through Scintilla, we're advocating the mentally disabled. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Veda Vadakatu and I'm here with Rida Said, my head of operations, and I'm the co-founder of an organization called Scintilla. As Rida mentioned, we advocate for the people with mental disabilities, and we often go to mentally disabled schools that they host events with them, and we go and connect with them on a personal level to advocate their feelings on a social media platform. Thank you.
I actually start, whoever you are, I actually start by saying Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? But I was really concerned whether it's happy for you or not. Everyone is so damn serious. So my name is King. I'm 12 years old. I'm actually 12 years old. Right. I'm 12 years old and I represent. I'm an explorer. I've changed some 7 professions in last 2.5 years. I worked on different startups. I would like to talk about 2 different startups because it is very relevant. One is called Life of Students. In the fancy words, it's generative AI for mental health education. On the other end, I represent a startup which represents the under 18 world. Around 1 lakh students we are representing. It's called What Is My Goal. We made some other products wherein something called I Am Here No Fear, where you can randomly come to a platform, shoot the alley, find out your frustration, and whenever you need some help, you can reach out to our people. So I'd be very happy to talk to any of you. Don't vent out your frustration with me. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ashwarya. I'm a rehabilitation counselor at LV Prasad Eye Institute. I counsel people who have vision impairment. And being visually impaired myself, I work towards the inclusion of them. As an advisor, I'm with Grailmaker Innovations, promoting public accessibility through QR labels And I'm also a 3D artist, so I make art accessible for blind persons which they can touch and experience. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anugya Bhatia. I'm 17 in 12th grade. I study at DPS. I'm not part of any organization, but I'm a national level track athlete, and I also play basketball for my school team. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Pujita Rupani. I'm 17 years old and I co-founded an organization called Aurelia. So we conduct sports tournaments to raise funds, and the funds that we gain, we donate to a public sector hospital, the pediatric ward, where the patients are mostly babies with birth defects, traumatic injuries, and cancer tumors. So we don't just donate the money that we earn, we also go at least 3 times per month to the hospital to spend time with all the kids, because kids and the caregivers, like their parents or whoever's there with them, because they don't get to leave the hospital because they're long-term patients. So we help them with their mental health by sometimes taking our friends or playing games with them, conducting activities. So yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anshu Reddy and I recently graduated from Chirek. I'll be going to college soon, but 2 years ago I started an organization called Therapy with Shivani here. We both are the founders, and I think she mentioned almost everything, but basically we're a mental health organization for students, and we aim to give mental health access to students from all backgrounds and locations, regardless of their socioeconomic background. And we aim to build an inclusive and fostering community for students and children in general, especially targeting rural communities. The impact of our organization has been extensive, and I'm very grateful to be here today and connect with you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditya Havaldar, and I'm founder of Collative. And Kashyap has already told what we do. So we, to add on to that, we use communication to create awareness among students on very subconscious level. Especially students in their teenage are not much conscious and not much aware of the mental health issues and all. So creating that student culture amongst the students through our books, to our various programs is something that we do. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, that's amazing. Hi, I'm Shreya Gupta, founder of an organization called the NRB, which is a creative space in Hyderabad, and we work with the vision of bringing about a creative revolution in the country. And we have been working for this vision for almost 7 years now. So I started it when I was 19 years old, so I'm 26 right now. But I'm so glad to see such young people today. And what we bring today is basically we feel and we believe that art can not only spread awareness impactfully, but it also spreads awareness long-lastingly and more impactfully, and that is what we are hoping to do together with all of you. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ganesh Yakra. I'm the rural innovator of TSIC. I'm serial innovator of TSIC. I'm the founder of Samskar Electronics Private Limited. I got a 4 international gold medalist also. Mainly, I have been working on social impact innovation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ravi, founder of LA Innovations. I'm 18 years now. I'm supported by TSIC, T-Works, and also T-Hub. So what I make is I make a wearable spectacle device for the blind people that can read, recognize, and help in navigation as well. And I'm also into robotics by hobby, and I make bipedal robots and also robots like CAT that interacts with the corporate employees. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's myself Ravi here, and I'm trying to represent from cycling community of Hyderabad. So when you see me, I'm a bit older here, but we make an impact here. around 10,000 cyclists in Hyderabad, we are the ones. And in 5,000 cyclists in Tier 2 and Tier 3, Warangal, Karimnagar, Mahbubad, every district. So what we do basically is we created in Hyderabad 3 entities. One for Hyderabad Relief Riders, where I think in pandemic you might be watching somebody was delivering things on a cycle, like food and medicine, we are the ones. So that, when I say this word, it's about community service by bicycle. And we started called Happy Hyderabad as building a community together, might be youngsters, like elderly people together. So what we do is we bring cycling, we're running, football, more of active things into the one table that we call as a Happy Hyderabad. You can check in Instagram. You might see 5,000 posts. I think Arun knows about it, and we've been with him for a while also. So again, very important stuff that we are doing together is Hyderabad Cycling Revolution. It never happened in India, it's happening in Hyderabad. So overall cycling track came up here. Everybody's aware of it? Anybody's aware of cycling track? So we are the teams behind it. So it's not easy to do an everyday ride. Every day 4 o'clock in the morning, around hundreds of people on the road going for 100 kilometers cycling. We are the ones to show the government that the people like under 18 kids are there who's coming for cycling for 15 to even 600 kilometers. And the way we are building together to make sure that nowadays we try to imagine what is happening is 22-year-old kid also getting a heart attack. So as we see now in our network, around 80-year-old or 70-year-old person cycling for 100 kilometers with us. So try to adopt cycling, and we also advocate about cycling in offices, colleges, across. So Jai Hind, thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Anil. My pronouns are they or them. Firstly, thank you so much to everyone. The moment Raghu has mentioned, let's be little inclusive and use the inclusive language, I heard no one told hi guys. Everyone told hello everyone, and that makes me feel safe, comfortable here. And I represent Mobera Foundation. I'm one of the founder. It's been 9 years of beautiful journey in Telangana. We started when it is in Andhra Pradesh and now in Telangana state. A lot of things are happening. We have seen, involving with police and government, with pride places opening in women's wing, and one pride place at Gachibowli police station where they are working for, especially for LGBTQIA+ community. So Mobera Foundation, since 9 years, it has been working for upliftment, encouraging arts and employment in multiple sectors, and skill development programs. We have been doing it. We have placed almost 200 plus LGBT individuals in multiple private sectors. And hopefully with a lot of help from the government right now, we will be able to place people from the LGBTQIA+ community in government sectors. Probably you will see your employees as trans persons, non-binary persons too, not only heterosexuals. And we have been challenging this heteronormative society, not against to heterosexuals, but to fight for our rights in this secular democratic country. So with regards to the event, we want all the, whatever the platform, whatever the topics which you are going to discuss, we want everyone to make it as an inclusive and diversified, so that we find not only male and female, but trans persons, which involves trans women, trans men, gender non-conforming, gender fluid persons, so that you get a lot of inputs, because we are a large minority in this country which has no access to proper health care. You find a lot of trans persons, begging on the streets, doing sex work. Today we are sitting here as a privileged people working at multiple sectors, but we find we still, after 75 years of independence, we have a lot of people dying out of, get bread and proper bread and butter for one time a day. Access to mental health. You find a number of trans and hijra people who die by suicide because of no access to proper physical and mental health. So I would say whoever is working for all these kind of things, Mobera Foundation is there to support you. And also I would request you also to take initiatives in your organizations to empower LGBT community, because we are no longer a minuscule minority. We are a strong minority which is coming up with a lot of innovations, And we have doctors who are working in Osmania University. Two of the transgender persons, doctors, are working in one of the renowned, university in Telangana state. So please help the community in as much as possible. Thank you so much.
All right, hi guys. My name is Sriram. So I'm an alumni of IIT Madras and spent about 10-12 years, a lot of time in the academia, built about 100 products, and post which I started really working on yoga, Kalaripaitu for myself, and I did a couple of international teacher certifications, and ever since then I've been teaching kids in government schools and various other avenues for free. And what I realized was some of my co-teachers, they knew the teaching as an art very well, but they could not find a platform where they could market, connect to various other people. So being a techie, I built a platform which enables teachers to host courses, workshops, classes, and also students to be able to look out for in their vicinity who could help them out with that. So as far as yoga is concerned, I think it's much more organized, but coming to Kalaripaitu, what we see is there is lack of awareness and recognition for something that is the mother of all martial arts. So I'm trying to see how I can promote the community of Kalaripaitu teachers and enable them using the platform, along with the merchandise where it has some products as well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Pratyusha from Grailmaker Innovations. I'm 26 years old, of around mid-build, and my hair around of my shoulders, and wearing a white shirt. Wondering why am I saying all this? So that's what we Grailmakers do. We work for the inclusion and accessibility for the visually impaired. When you say accessibility, it counts everything right from, reading the signages, giving an orientation of the room, and also navigating in the public places. So that's what we strive for. And we it doesn't just end there, and we are extending our work to the providing the vision therapy, which again happens to be a neglected need for the most children with neurological disorders. Thank you.
Okay, namaste everyone. So I am the 21st person who is introducing herself, and almost 19 of them are the founders. So थोड़ा डर लग रहा है कि founding नहीं बोला तो क्या होगा? Okay. So I represent an organization known as Sparsh Hospice, a center for palliative care. It's very nearby to T-Hub. I work as program manager there. I don't know how many of you know about palliative care. Can you just raise hand if you have ever heard about hospice and palliative care? So yeah, a lot of people don't know about palliative care. So majority people is not aware about the palliative care. So palliative care starts where where anyone gets any life-threatening illness. It could be cancer, it could be any life-threatening illness, and hospice care is where end of life care is being taken about. Our main objective is to give a dignified departure to anyone who is going through any life-threatening disease. Most of the patients or beneficiaries, we call them as stakeholders. We don't promote beneficiary. Of course, CSR proposals में beneficiaries लिखना पड़ता नहीं तो funding नहीं आएगा. So our main advocate are the caregivers and that patient who has taken our services, and those are the people, we have taken care of destitute, we have taken care of individual families for whom their caregivers or their family members are not available. We have pediatric patients, we have geriatric patients, from birth. We also had 106-year-old patients. Our main aim is to give a dignified departure and handhold of the families till they are able to, come out of that particular issue, whatever you call it. You can call issue, you can call memories, because it's not easy to say goodbye. Our main work is also to break that bad news to the patient and the family members. This is Neha. I work as program manager there. I see their funding, communication, and what do you say? Program manager का हाल ऐसा ही होता है, जो कोई नहीं करता वो तुम कर लो. So yeah, basically I see their mostly I see their CSR funding and the audits. That's it. Very glad to see youngster. उस time पे पता भी नहीं था हम लोगों को करना क्या है. So a huge round of applause for you guys. And I'll just hand over the mic.
Hello everyone, I am Shweta Desiraju. I am the founder and CEO of the Bright Side Foundation, which is a mental health NGO based in Telangana. So at Bright Side, we work on 4 wonderful big initiatives. Our first initiative is called Wind Beneath the Wings. So through this initiative, we provide social and emotional learning to adolescents and youngsters. So we want to be the wind beneath their wings. Now, just how social studies, mathematics has been a curriculum for us in our school over years, we want to make sure mental health is also a curriculum. Social emotional learning is a curriculum and children are equipped with it. And post-COVID, we have come up with a COVID-19 relief work project called Project Ummeed. So through Project Ummeed, we spread mental health awareness. We provide free counseling services. Our in-house team of counselors and psychologists provide free counseling services. And we have a beautiful initiative called Art Therapy. And we have our own model of psychological first aid. So psychological first aid is very similar to physical first aid. Now let's say I walk into this room and you see that I got hurt. Okay, you see that my knee is bleeding. All of us here would know the drill. We know to get a Dettol, we know to get a Band-Aid, we know to fetch cotton, we all know the drill. But if you see somebody who's going through an emotional turmoil, somebody who's not doing okay, most of us may not know the first thing to say to them. And sometimes we have this fear of, what if I say the wrong thing? And that stops us from even being there for this person. So we have developed the model of psychological first aid. And our aim is to train at least one member in every family in India, so that when a situation happens, when an emotional turmoil happens, at least one person in a family knows what to do. And we also work on suicide prevention. We have a model of gatekeepers training. We are trying to create a community of gatekeepers who are the first respondents of suicide symptoms or signs that we see in people around us, and can be the bridge to reach professional help. And we also host Hyderabad's biggest mental health festival called Udan. And this festival is to throw light upon the positive aspects of mental health, the well-being side of mental health. So this is what we do as an organization. We're 2.5 years old, and our team at Brightside is everything. They are the driving force behind everything that happens at Brightside. And on a lighter note, our organization and our work is also selected for Pride of Telangana this year. So if you get a minute, please do vote for us. It would mean a lot to us. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Firstly, thank you very much Team TSIC for hosting this conversations in Telangana. I'm Ritvika Kavuru. I am the Operations Manager at Youngistan Foundation, one of India's largest youth-driven not-for-profit organization. I've been in this development sector for the last 6 years, and I've had joy and experience of working with thousands of young people and enabling them to address social issues in an organized manner. Apart from that, in the last 3 years, I've been working on menstrual health education for children from underserved communities and women who are in underserved communities. So we have so far created awareness for more than 1 million people by working with different stakeholders in the state of Telangana. And yes, I look forward to the brainstorming session, and thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Habib Ali, founder for a company called Be Able Health. I'll just use 7 words, probably you can count if I'm going more. What we do. We are India's first game-based upper limb neuro rehab device. Inventors, manufacturers. And so what it does is it allows you, people who have some disability of the upper arm due to a neurological condition, they can do rehabilitation by playing games on a device. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Johnny. I also go by Evelyn. I'm a trans non-binary person, and the reason why I'm saying this is if you don't know what that means, I want you to come and ask me, and that's my way of putting the change forward. I'm not part of any innovative startup, I'm not part of any organization, but I'm a journalist at the Daily Pioneer right now, and I'm here to take whatever you bring up and make sure that the people hear it. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very exciting introductions. Those were just shows a lot of diversity with regards to geography, demography, age that we're bringing in, and the kind of activities that are you pulling off. So very nice to know. While we look forward to the brainstorming session, I know we're a little late, but then we'll close it as soon as possible, but making sure it's productive. But before we commence the brainstorming session, we would like to have a group picture over here. I would like to have everybody on the stage towards this side.
కొంచెం ఎక్కడండి కొంచెం ఎడ్జ్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళు వెనక్కి వెళ్ళమని చెప్పండి ప్లీజ్. Come close, please. Come close. Smile, smile, smile. Wait, wait. Okay, ready? 1 second, please. Wait, wait, wait. Yeah, yes, ready? Say cheese, 1 red. Okay, okay, ready? Yeah, yeah. 1 second, please. Okay.
Request everybody to settle down.
That's not bad too much now.
Check, check. All right, everybody, settle down quickly. अभी
actual picture is now. The reason that you've come here. Everybody settle down. Can I get your attention? Everybody show me your right foot. Can't do that, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Just to start off again one more time, they say there are 3 types of people. Okay, everybody with me? 3 types of people. People who watch things happen. One category. Second category are people who make things happen. Okay? Third category are people who wondered what happened. Okay? But today in this room, the second category people are here. You know? These are people who are making things happen. You all are Hyderabad, entire Hyderabad may say you've been selected. Okay, not Google search karke, they didn't send your name. You've been handpicked. Okay, so it's a proud moment for each one of you. You know, you are history makers. Today is the first ever Y20 young people meeting here in Telangana. You know that? You know that? Yes or no? So you guys will go down in history books. 100 years ke baad, if they open and say Y20 Summit, Telangana, kaun hai? Your name will come. तुम्हारे बच्चे पढ़ेंगे कहते, ठीक है. But isn't that a proud moment? I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, I'm very proud of you for being here. Turn to your neighbor and tell them that quickly. You know, you are history maker. Tell them that. You are history maker. Okay? Alright. And nobody told you that. You remember you are history maker. Okay? You are creating history. Okay? Alright, so we are here today for an important discussion. Okay? Remember, people will also remember you in history for if you do not suggest some important things. Today, we are here to suggest some things to the government, okay, on the topic that we're gathered here. So this is the time, okay, this is the time to use your voice. Write down things, pen down things, discuss in your own tables what you want the government to do for young people. You are the voices of the entire Telangana. So you have to make it happen. Are you going to do that? Yes? Petrol chala gaya. Alright. Okay, here we go. So we're going to have a few questions for you. We're going to start. What we're going to do is very simple. Okay, we're going to go one question. We're going to have 3 discussion points. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So after one discussion, so every discussion is going to be for 15 minutes. No, 10 minutes. Okay? We're going to discuss for 10 minutes. We are watching who is discussing, who is not. We have sponsors sitting outside, okay? So if they're not discussing, then Pranay is the bouncer for today. Black shirt bouncer, no? So I'm just, just kidding. But again, you have 10 minutes as a group to discuss. Use the opportunity, I'm going to tell you, use the opportunity. And after that, one person from the team will come onto the stage and tell what are your suggestions. What is that you as a team have discussed. So every time there's going to be a different person who will come and share what you have discussed. Is it okay? Any questions till here? All clear? All clear shampoo. No promotion. Okay, here we go. The first question for today. Okay, everything is going to be on the screen. I want you to... is everybody able to see that? Okay, so I'm not going to read the questions to to benefit of the time. So we're going to start the discussion now. Who's keeping the time? You have papers on the table. How many of you do not have a paper on the table? Okay, can we just pass on little paper? We'll pass it on to you while you're discussing. So that is the topic for now. So discuss for next 10 minutes. There are 3 questions. Okay, go one by one. Speak it down. Till then, take it on your phone. Take the notes on your phone. And we're going to do that. Okay, ready? One question at a time, but you have 10 minutes to discuss all 3. Okay, so question 1, you're going to have 10 minutes to discuss, and after that, you're going to come and share. Okay? Anybody says that Anima gets it? Go. Okay, here we go. All the 3 questions you have to discuss in 10 minutes, okay? There are 3 different questions, okay?
अच्छा अच्छा वो मैं मैसेज कर दूँगा
Okay, 5 minutes up. You have 5 minutes to go. Okay, 3 minutes to go. You can start noting it down. Also nominate 2 people from each team to come and share what you discussed in 2 minutes. Okay? time's up, time's up. We're going to start with team number... Any suggestions? Or you want to... Team number 4. Who's team number 4? So my random guessing mara, I didn't pick. Okay, one of the things I would request everybody to do is, when one team is talking, the other, close your ears. Listen to them, okay? Come. Team number 4, put your hands together for team number 4. Okay? So you have exactly 2 minutes to please present what your team has put together. Over to you. You can take the stage.
I'm representing team number 4. I'm not sure how relevant our discussion went, but this is something that we discussed. In order to help students, youths, with better health infrastructure, we should be having a lot of awareness going on in institutions, school institutions, also in universities, colleges, and all. Wellness cells, a lot of universities have wellness cells, but I think even schools should be having wellness cells, not just with wellness cells, but also having curriculum that supports athletes, that helps students to understand and create awareness, not just on topics like depression and all, but also on the way of living, the culture that you are bringing, and that is something I call a student culture. That is something that we should be promoting. And when it comes to innovation, what kind of technology and all, I think Ganesh who would be talking about it.
Thank you. So I would like to discuss about innovative ideas. So innovative ideas, and I would like to speak in Telugu, it will be fine to you. So innovative ideas, kids నుంచి రావాలంటే ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇన్నోవేటివ్ ఐడియాస్ రావాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయడం అనేది రావాలి. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం పిల్లల్లో అవేర్నెస్ రావాలంటే ఆర్డినో బోర్డ్స్ కానీ సంథింగ్ చిన్న చిన్న క్రియేటివిటీ థాట్స్ని వాళ్ళు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసే ప్లానింగ్ నుంచి రావాలి. సో ఎలా ఆలోచించాలి, ఎలా వాళ్ళని క్రియేట్ చేయాలి అనేది చాలా వరకు మేము గ్రాస్ రూట్ లెవెల్లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఏం జరిగింది అని అంటే, సో స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఇంట్రెస్ట్గా ఉంటుంది, నేర్చుకోవాలని ఉంటుంది. సో చిన్నపిల్లలకి ఏ విధంగా అర్థం కావాలంటే ప్లేవే మెథడ్లోనే టీచింగ్ అనేది జరగాలి. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఇన్నోవేటివ్ ఐడియాస్ రావడానికి కూడా క్రియేటివిటీ మైండ్తోనే రావాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మేము చేసిన ప్రోడక్ట్లో ఉంటే సంస్కార్ టైం చేసాము గుడ్ టచ్ బ్యాడ్ టచ్ గురించి. సో నార్మల్గా ఆల్టర్నేటివ్గా గుడ్ టచ్ బ్యాడ్ టచ్ గురించి చెప్తూ ఉంటారు, సో చాలా ఇంటాక్ట్ అవుతున్నారు. బట్ ఎప్పుడైతే మేము టాయ్స్తో చెప్పడం స్టార్ట్ చేసామో పిల్లలు ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ చూపించడం మొదలుపెట్టారు. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఇన్నోవేటివ్ థాట్స్లో కూడా పిల్లల్లో ఒక లైట్ బ్లింక్ అవ్వడం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్నోవేటివ్ థాట్స్ అని పెద్ద పెద్దగా ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేకుండా, ఒకవేళ నైట్ టైంలో నువ్వు సైకిల్ దొక్కుతున్నప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా నీకు సైకిల్కి లైట్ ఉంటే బాగుండని అనిపించిందా అని క్వశ్చన్స్ రేజ్ చేయడం స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు ఆటోమేటిక్గా నిజమే కదా, ఆ లైట్ ఉంటే బాగుంటుంది. ఇన్నోవేటివ్ థాట్స్లోనికి ఈ విధంగా పిల్లలు మైండ్ సెట్ చేంజ్ అవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. సో స్పెషల్లీ ఏంటంటే ప్లేవే మెథడ్లోనికి వాళ్ళకి క్రియేటివిటీ మైండ్ సెట్ని ఇచ్చి, అంటే క్రియేటివిటీగా ఒక ప్లేవే మెథడ్లో వాళ్ళు టీచ్ చేస్తే క్రియేటివిటీ మైండ్ సెట్ గ్రోత్ అవ్వడానికి స్టార్టింగ్ పాయింట్స్.
Great, you can put your hands together louder, come on. Team number 3. Who's team number 3? Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. So we want to just, so in our discussion, we talked about firstly how we can use social media as a medium to promote digital healthcare infrastructure. So firstly, there are over 90 crore users of Facebook and Instagram just in Telangana. So we can easily make a big impact if we use social media as a medium to promote it. We also need to keep one factor, language barriers in mind while promoting digital healthcare infrastructure, because if we talk about users in India, we've discussed that we should use regional languages rather than English while communicating. because misunderstanding while discussing somebody's health or symptoms or diagnosis can be a health risk to the patient itself. So yeah, now here's Aishwarya, she'll continue.
The topics that we wanted to add more to it is, during the COVID time, we didn't have access to healthcare. We were at home, we couldn't go for center-based intervention. But in this case, teleconsultation is something that will help because people don't usually go to the center. So it could be like, they at their home premises, they'll be able to consult the doctor. Adding to this, the IVR, services where they make a phone call, and if they want to know about a health condition, with symptoms and precautions, and if they want to know any resources where they can go and consult, so that information can be provided through IVR voice response, interactive voice response. And the last one I want to include is, recently there was National Health Survey, unfortunately, the disability questions were not added in National Health Survey. So keeping this in mind, it would be great if these digital tools are made accessible for people with all disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Team number 2.
Okay. So first we discussed the main reason that digital infrastructure is important is because in our current generation it's just more feasible. Like one example that was given is that most suicides are factually known to happen between around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and having a physical counselor or psychologist, it just might not make sense because they're 9-to-5 jobs. So having online platforms in the context of mental health just makes more sense. And in terms of the policies that can be introduced, one thing is the increase of accessibility and awareness, especially in rural communities, and educating them about how to use technology for their benefit. And I think after COVID, that is more practical as well, and people are more equipped with devices.
So for the last point, we thought of gamification because it's education and we're already fed up with the college. So anything that adds fun, that has some points, right, is always good. That is something personal work in our startup. So gamification, storytelling is a way to go for education.
Thank you very much. Team number 1. Yeah.
I think the conversation around mental health, the conversation around digital health infrastructure is mostly restricted to tier 1 and tier 2 areas. And I think it's essential that we have a more intersectional approach and we go to the grassroots level, because that's truly how we can make an impact. And I think it's important to invest in capacity building programs to, enhance digital financing among healthcare professionals and other relevant stakeholders. So the most important thing again is education. Not all of this is pretty new to all of us, so capacity building is incredibly important. A few other new things coming up is blockchain technology. It's very easily accessible and can really spread the idea and reach new levels, more people. And I think another important thing to implement and think about is private and public partnerships for digital financing. I think it's important to foster collaborations between the government and other private entities to develop and reach more people, because everyone has their own expertise, and together I think we can make more of an impact. Over.
There are 3 questions. Basically, out of that we could only think of the third one. Hopefully we pass in that. The third question, innovative ideas with innovative. So we cannot basically build something new which goes to all 140 crore people, especially in the digital health sector. So what we thought is, why don't we use which is already existing? Say, during Corona, this Facebook which says COVID details and all. When there is earthquake, unsafe. Just like that, if the existing applications which have already been into existence for a very long time, if it can talk about digital health, it can talk about everything, it will be really useful. And other questions we don't have, maybe next time we'll tell that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So which are the teams that didn't speak yet? Team 9, huh?
6.
कौन सा school? Team number, we'll go with this team, come. That is team 5.
Audible? Yeah. In terms of tools, since I've built about 100 products, I can think of various new products that can be out there which can solve different problems. The idea that you gave, saying we could use social media tools already existing rather. So what I find is everybody could go to YouTube, Instagram, they could try to find content, but they don't know whether the content is right, whatever they're saying is right. So in order to have one app where you have different approaches, but authenticated by certain people who are renowned in the industry, that would add a lot more credibility to the platform and make it something that people can look out for. So this is as far as the software tool, and in terms of the awareness, our teammate will tell you more. The second part about the hardware that we could use, like for example, somebody has an accident and they need access to one machine which should monitor something. If we had a way by which, similar to how we are finding taxis or Rapidos, if we have these devices also accessible in a shorter way or on the phone in some technology, that also is a way to enable stuff.
While we have been all talking about a lot of software and hardware systems, the main thing which we are forgetting is to create a lot of awareness and breaking stigma and stereotypes. One such example I would take is HIV or AIDS. It's a very problematic situation across the globe, but we still haven't found a solution for it. And I'm sure a lot of people might not know about the reason. It started in the United States of America, and they named and they claimed it as a gay disease. And that's when they stopped making a medication for that. And we are still finding a solution for it. So when we are planning for making certain things to make our physical and mental health well-being, imagine HIV positive people living with it, dying with a lot of physical health issues and mental health issues. So while we have options for therapies where we can get, where we can use the technology to find someone whom we can speak to, or find ways to come up with depression and anxiety, we should also have certain tools which tells us how to prevent this, because the younger generation needs to get rid of this, because people already who are living with HIV are already suffering through it, and the younger generation should have access towards certain tools where they can get a lot of awareness on talking about it and getting to know about it. And another thing, how we can equally access to everyone is having more number of people from the inclusion and diversity team in the hospitals as doctors, nurses, so that people from the socio-economic, gender and sexual minorities will also come to the hospitals to get treated. Imagine a trans person or a hijra woman walking into a hospital, and a heterosexual male doctor won't treat her properly. Do you think she will be ever walk to the same hospital once again? No. So it is very important that we have representation, proper representation in the hospitals or anywhere which talks about physical and mental health, so that people from the gender and sexual minorities also would take up the services. Thank you.
Thank you. We go to team number 6.
right. So in fact, we did get time to even read these 3 questions because they were telling 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and we realized 10 minutes time is really short. Do we have a timeline even to tell?
Yeah, 1 minute up.
Okay. Alright. So, promoting digital health infrastructure. Before promoting the kind of prototypes or digital health infrastructure, we were thinking, basically youth, right? We were thinking larger young people or the young adults are in academic institutions. So academic institutions of all kinds, government aided, affordable private and private schools. So these are our primary targets. So what we were thinking is, during our awareness session, we've seen a lot of health issues for children. Something, to name a few, it's hygiene factors or unhealthy eating due to which they become obese, respiratory infections, stress, anxiety, menstrual health issues, and many. So, yes, we do think that that is an issue that they have, and we as a human, as their akka or anna, go to their schools and create awareness about this. But it's just that there are so many people out there, and we have no idea what sort of structured information is being delivered to them. So we were thinking, the team 6/9 was thinking of an idea as a chatbot. So this chatbot can be like a chota beam. This is just an avatar that we're giving an example of, but it could be anyone. It could be any avatar, like TSIC has that Dada Dadi avatar. So we could have that avatar being installed and set up at an academic institution, and any information that they would be needing, either they could talk or they could type. So it's more like an ATM machine, how you withdraw cash, right? So that sort of a chatbot will be kept at every academic institution, and they could converse with them. So they will be that friend or sister or brother or anything. So my team member Habib will be discussing more because he had a lot of questions. Chatbot, gate, privacy, and everything. So he's going to address how this is going to work technically. Yeah.
Thank you. Again, let's keep it very short. So one of the things when we are looking at the infrastructure, so we are looking at 2 aspects. One is how do you create awareness? Obviously, most of you guys have addressed that. Second is how do you have engagement? Okay, so we need to balance both of these things. In terms of awareness, obviously you need curated content. Now the question is, where are you going to deliver this content? Okay, are you going to deliver it on social media? Are you going to have an app? Are you going to have a chatbot? Are you going to, play it in the school like a movie? Or if people are not going to school, how are you going to give them access for that? So how are you going to deliver that content? So that's something which has to be looked on. Similarly, how is engagement going to happen? Okay, gamification is a way to do it, but then the question is it going to be personalized or is it going to be for the masses, right? If you're going to have it personalized, your hardware requirements are going to increase, right? And then you have questions of privacy. So these are concerns which have to be addressed while developing an infrastructure to address the healthcare of the youth, okay? And also stigma is something which also needs to be taken into consideration while building the solution for this. Okay, and I think with this we wrap up and go for the next one.
Great, thank you so much. That concludes our first question. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, well done, good job, give them a high five, etc. Okay, then we'll go to question number 2. I'll give you like 1 minute to go through the questions. You're getting complaints saying I'm not giving time for people to read questions. I'm just kidding. Okay, but I really like the way you're thinking. The quite a lot of inputs that came in. They're really nice. Let's see what best we can come with question number 2. Okay, here we go. Your time starts now. Okay, 2 minutes to go. All right, the time's up. I know this team has just 3 people. Maybe one person from that team can come. In the next round, one person can come so that everybody gets a chance. The rest of the teams, 2 or one person extra. You need 1 more minute. Okay, go. I'll give you 60 seconds last to sum it up. Okay, that's 1 minute for you. Okay, can we have people who didn't get a chance, didn't go and speak, new people to come and share what you've discussed. If there are less people on your team, one person can come now and one person can come in the last round. Okay, divide accordingly. Okay, team number 1, we go with team number 1 this time. Alright, only that team is clapping for that team. क्या है यार वो NGOs वाले सब मिलके clap करना. All social sectors, you should help each other out.
Hi again. A few months ago, when my founder and I visited a school for the mentally disabled, there was this one particular sentence spoken by a young student that still rings in our ear like echoes down a waterfall. I quote unquote, "We don't want your pity, we want opportunities." Stating that the youth in our country is increasingly growing vulnerable to mental health problems. It is imperative to note that Telangana, one of the most technologically developed countries, has the 3rd highest rates of depression, with 55.7 million suffering with depressive disorders. The Bill Gates Foundation said, quote unquote, the southern states have higher prevalence of depression due to its modernization and urbanization. With the advent of technology and media, how do we reverse the increasingly exacerbating effects of those manic dopamine stimulants? How do we hit 2 birds with 1 stone? The answer is simple and apparent. It is the age-old method of yoga and Ayurveda.
For this purpose, we would like to suggest you an initiative we call Yoga Youth Purification Program, where we want to organize community events such as yoga camps, health fairs, or wellness festivals. We can provide opportunities for the community to come together, learn about yoga, participate in workshops, and access related resources. we want to engage with schools and educational institutions, work with schools and talk about yoga and include them in extracurricular activities, and develop age-appropriate yoga modules and conduct workshops for teachers that enhance their understanding of yoga benefits and incorporate it into their curriculum. We also want to collaborate with local health workers and collaborate with traditional healers or community health centers to integrate yoga practices into their existing programs. This can help bridge the gap between traditional and modern healthcare systems and promote the benefits of yoga in a trusted and familiar setting.
Another point that I wanted to add is, have you guys seen these videos on YouTube where they get in 100 drummers, 100 singers and 100 guitarists, and they all come together and make a cover for one single song? I feel like that would also be really great to take that application and put it out into yoga. On World Yoga Day, I know our Honorable Prime Minister already does it, but it would be great to implement that on a city or state level to sort of increase awareness and also have a community belonging sense. Thank you.
Great. Team number 2. చప్పట్లు కొట్టండి.
So we are talking about yoga and traditional medicine like Ayurveda. So one of the ways to actually promote it, amongst the youth, we are thinking of, using logic and storytelling to promote this amongst the youth. So this is one thing we are thinking of, and also this actually, using, through yoga or through traditional medicine, we could also create a sense of belongingness together. So that is one of the other things that we are thinking of.
Okay. Youth mostly follows things which are fashionable and trendy. So to make it more relevant and make it more fashionable, yoga should be made more relevant and fashionable so that most of the youth, the other side, which they come and follow yoga on a regular practice basis. And also Ayurveda or allopathy or yoga, Ayurveda, allopathy, and there are multiple other traditional medicines which should be included in the curriculum of schools and colleges as a graded subject.
So we are also thinking of, we are talking about raising awareness amongst youth. One other way is to gamify the system so that more they start getting points and they get us that. Actually, that's what we are talking about a sense of belongingness, where you start earning points and you start practicing it more. So that's all we have to say.
Okay, thank you guys. Team, everybody. Okay, let's go next. Team number 3, the self-nominated. आंखों से
వాళ్ళు తీసేసి జనరల్ ఆడి వేసుకుని వాళ్ళని స్టాండ్ ప్రాబ్లం జారిపోతుంది హ్యాండిల్ వేసుకుని జనరల్ ఆడి వేసుకోవాలి పైకి తీసేసి
So our modern lifestyle is so fast-paced that traditional practices like yoga and Ayurveda allow flexibility in our lifestyle because they can be done at home. Meditation and yoga are things that can be done at home, and they're easily compatible with our modern lifestyle. And students and people in general should be able to embrace their roots and use practices that are easily compatible and of low cost while maximizing the takeaways. So one of our solutions was to introduce these traditional practices like meditation, yoga, awareness about mental health, and mindfulness practices in general into the school syllabi and mandate that it's taught to students from a young age. Doing so is so important as students can learn
about mental health and mindfulness, and they learn these practices from a young age, and inculcating this topic into the syllabus and showing them proper practices of how to go about yoga and Ayurveda and things like that will not only combat their distress and mental health problems, but it will also combat the stigma and taboo that is there around mental health right now. Because recently I went to visit a government school and I taught the children about mental health and mindfulness, and they were completely clueless. They knew nothing that I was talking about, and so by inculcating these topics into the syllabus, it will be very beneficial in breaking the taboo and also beneficial for the students themselves.
Thank you. I'll say the rest. Like she said, all these things need to be included in school syllabus, curriculum. But that's a bigger picture. In the end, if all of this is going to work, if it's actually going to, it needs to start with yourself. You need to include these in your daily routine. You wake up, you stretch, simple breathing exercises. Like she said, it doesn't take much time. It's the most simple exercise one can include in the daily activities. Yeah, it starts in your, you have to start it has to start with you, but again, that is another hard problem, it's another problem. Because getting the inspiration, and getting the inspiration to do such things, that's a problem on its own. So, you make clubs in your communities, groups of people who decide, this time, on this day, we will go, we'll do something, we'll do stretches, we'll do breathing exercises, and like that, together as a community, it would help, and yoga would become a daily thing in everyone's lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go team number 4. Let's go in order. 4, 5, 6, like that. Last round, we'll do reverse. Everybody clap, round of applause to team number 4.
So we all have been speaking about awareness, the previous topic and this topic, but the question that I want to ask is it impactful? So a simple scenario that I want to talk about is the advertisement that we see before the movie to quit cigarette. Is it working? Is it working, guys? It's not. So that's where I think we need to innovate, and the solution that I want to suggest to the government, that is the state and the central, to have their own pool of content creators to be able to make this kind of awareness which is reaching to the youth, with which you are able to make an impact. Right? So that involves sensitizing content creators, sensitizing artists, sensitizing performers, event organizers, in inculcating such small initiatives which will have a better and a more impactful awareness on the youth. That's one. And secondly, when we are talking about yoga, and I know we will be talking about indigenous sports later on, and how Arun had mentioned about pittu, hopscotch, and then hide and seek. We have all forgotten these things, and because of the increase of screen time. So it's from kids to our parents. It has somehow penetrated into our parents too. Our parents are watching YouTube all day long. So reducing the screen time by hosting, like governments can take initiatives of hosting something like Happy Streets, where as a community people come together, there are yoga sessions happening, there are these old games that we come back, we bring it, we inculcate it back into the youth, and if to innovate it with technology, we can have an application wherein people can earn points. It can be an incentive based application where everyone can earn points or cashbacks to be able to ensure that they keep working on it and keep doing it. Over to Aditya.
So here I am again. So to start with why, we all should start with why. As team of three has pointed out that should start with ourselves, we should initiate it. And not just us, but also communities and all should initiate. So I'm founder of Collateral and we have a product called Dristicon. So I'll tell you how I designed the book. So this is the book, and this is something very much relatable to the topic that we have today. We use stories to explain for people emotions, especially students. Because me coming from very culturally and traditionally strong background, I've been raised up by listening to hundreds and thousands of stories every night. So each story has its own impact, and stories come with a lot of impact. Stories not just makes us curious, but also makes us question and also impacts our life. So we are using stories as one of the how to change an impact, how to make an impact. And again, the question remains: how are we creating impact? Okay, one of us is a story, and probably art, and a few more that's coming. But when it comes to implementation, I think there is a lot of efforts that is going to be there in terms of organizational level and also on government level. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, King of 5.
Adding to what just the team number 3 had just said, adding to the school syllabi, I just wanted to bring a little more POV to that. I'm a queer person, and there's a stereotype that queer people hate sports. How many of you think it's true? Do you think it's true? Do you think queer people hate sports? Well, you're wrong. I mean, technically, I hate sports. So here's the thing. But the thing is, I feel like if my school had offered yoga instead of, along with football and basketball, okay, I feel like it would have been free. So I think that's one thing that people can do, as in add this to the PET classes. I know physical training is not just about games and adrenaline. I think there's also other component to it, and it can also promote other health factors, one thing. And the next thing is, we think the supermarkets, okay, when we're about to check out, you see these counters, small counters next to these checkout counters, you see chocolates, mouth fresheners. I feel like that's where people make the last minute choices, and I feel like those can be pushed to make the health choices. And I think that's one way to push healthy choices into mainstream, okay? And the next thing is, the Telangana government, since I'm a journalist, I know way too much about the Telangana healthcare system, and the Telangana government has this initiative called Basti Davakanas, okay? And what they basically do is they have a primary healthcare center in all the bastis and all the mandals in cities, okay? But the thing is, the healthcare workers there, they don't have any kind of knowledge on mental health, okay? But they reach grassroots levels, okay? And I feel like they can be the right people to ensure that certain awareness can be incorporated among public, okay? Ensure that if someone is not just having a fever, but also if they're feeling a little low, I feel like they should be the people that, any person can go to seek help. So I think the government on a policy level, okay, they can incorporate and impart this particular mental health training among primary health workers, and I think that's one way to push it. There are also other, my friend will talk about cycling and how it can help children and employees. Yeah.
Hi everyone again. It's a quick one. I see around leaders here. I don't see any followers because I see a lot of founders, and every leader will have their own entity and their way of things getting done. So what my request for everyone is to, as we see as the city of Hyderabad is more of sustainable. We're talking about sustainability, right? So if you don't adopt cycling nowadays, as you see, I will have 3 formulas called active mobility. If you try to do that, we can end up in a very good sustainable city. So if it's less than 1 kilometer from your home, try to adopt walk. If it's less than 5 kilometers, you take a cycle from your home and get your things done, like going for what is this called? Going for your supermarket, your haircut, small things. That's a 15-minute journey from your home. The third object is beyond 5 kilometers where you cannot go. You can adopt public transportation like first mile, last mile. Do one life cycle of this one. It will help you mentally, physically, where you're trying to not getting into the automobile thing stuff. So that is one thing. And also as a community of cycling, I see myself youngsters senior most people coming into cycling, the life has been changed. When you come on a cycle with us, you will see cities in a different manner. You were traveling in a speed cars. We are not traveling in a speed cars. We're going an average of 10 to 12 kilometers. We are finding the best locations. So what happens to your brain and well-being is going to be very good. You will feel something you never feel. You will not identify my age, right? So there are 70-year-old gentlemen riding with 18-year-old kid. So imagine the chemistry between both. So cycling is a platform where you can have good friends, good circle, and more well-being will be there. And I think, what is his name? He knows very well. We do community work. When community work happens on a cycle, we are not dropping any coming by cars or anything. They're all coming by cycle to lake cleanups. They're coming to do any voluntary work, food, medicine donations. We don't adopt automobiles. So my one humble request for everyone, the leaders here, try to take one word of cycling into the community. It will help your family, you and everyone. Jai Hind. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we're going to add yoga on cycling next time on a cycle. But I think we have one person who wants to add something. You want to show an ad? You want to add?
Yeah. So yoga is quite a static way of really working on your system. I would suggest that we include Kalaripai too, which is dynamic yoga in motion. And when you talk about youth, they are pumping up with a lot of energy. So if we could have Kalaripai too and Kalari Chikitsa as two different things that could be part of this, then it really would be motivating for kids and youth. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. I completely agree. The different art, different types of health benefits of different sport. And I'm sure each one of us should get to learn and, apply it in our daily lives. Thank you so much. A round of applause to team number 5. Okay, right before we go next, we will have Shruti from Millet Bank to come and share quickly about what you guys are going to eat after today's meeting. Okay, over to you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Shruti from Millet Bank. We're here to serve you some good healthy snacks today in the evening. And what we've got are a few cookies, millet cookies, some lovely chocolate cupcakes, which are also made of millets, and some millet snacks, khara snacks, as well as a small little village setup, which we believe in. That's our culture, the farming cultivation culture. That's what Millet Bank is all into. It's a small startup. Please read about us online. And we would love to see you guys outside soon.
Thank you. So you're going to have healthy food after this, all thanks to Shruti. Okay, team number 6. Come on, round of applause to team number 6. Come on.
Okay, I'll just stand here. Okay, so a lot of governments have been implementing yoga and other approaches in our education system. Like our Telangana government has now made 5 minutes of yoga compulsory in every school starting from this June 12th. So that's a brilliant initiative on its own. So something else that we can add on here is maybe governments taking up yoga into healthcare practices, maybe integrating yoga into healthcare systems. Because yoga has multiple benefits for both our physical health and our mental health. So when we integrate yoga into healthcare, what we mean by that is we can start having yoga departments in hospitals, in many hospitals. As in currently we are looking at yoga as a more recreational activity. We are looking at it as something that we do to relax, but it also has many treatment benefits. So if we can add yoga into our treatment plans, like how we have, let's say we go to a hospital for a specific concern, we have our medical treatments, we have surgeries, we have medicines that are given to us, sometimes even physiotherapy is added. So just like this, if yoga therapy can also be added into the hospitals, into the healthcare systems, it could bring a lot of change. Imagine having a yoga department in every hospital. Imagine the sort of impact it will also create on yoga teachers who are yoga trainers. They can have more opportunities, more employment opportunities as well. So that's one policy that we could add. And we would also like to talk about the insurance, and my teammate would cover that.
As my teammate has mentioned, incorporating yoga in mainstream hospitals, but it doesn't just end there, because affordability is also a matter of concern. And when we see the rest of, like, the mainstream medication, we just take it blindly because you have the insurance coverage going on for it. But what about for the traditional medicine and also yoga? So one way we are seeing it is making a policy that the insurance companies cover Ayush and also yoga as a treatment for any sort of diseases, and they cover the all the treatment charges for it. And not just that, we always talk about the treatment, but we never look into the preventive medicine. So as we see going to gym or fitness centers, but again, coming there with the affordability from many of the young population who are working, and also some of the colleges do cover the medical insurances. And these costs also can be covered as a part of insurance for the preventive medication. And moving on further, and when it comes to taking them, as an individual, whether you're going to walk into the Ayush center or a yoga center, and would you take that, is the question of matter, because many of us are not able to rely on it because of the reliability of the content. Like the other day, I was going through the chat of a visually impaired community, and there was a question whether, a traditional medication can get their eyesight back. So all this has to be backed with the science and the research, and that content and the mainstream channels has to be taken care by the government to give a credibility that this particular channels would deliver the credible content. And not just ending there, and making the yoga accessible for the many disabled, like cross disability. I see some of my friends actively participating in fitness centers, especially going to gym, because some of the activities are very accessible for wheelchair users or even upper limb disability. But how we are making this content, are we segregating yoga asanas depending upon them? And again, the question comes to how we are delivering the content for visually impaired. So I do urge the government to take into account in making the content accessible for the disabled. Thank you.
Great, yeah, some very important points. It's a longer time. I would want you to have a conversation maybe after you go home, and have a conversation, and you can tweet, tag the organizing teams, and suggest to them what you want to add, because all these pointers are already there on website, okay? And you can go there and suggest and share what you want them to speak about. Okay, this is the last point for the day. I know there are other two things that you've also seen, but we'll discuss that at your own pace. Okay, here we go. We go 5 minutes for you. Okay, if you're done, we can start off. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. 1 minute. If you can summarize, that's great. Okay, are we ready? Shall we go to the teams to share with us what you discussed? So we start with team number 6. I'll give you 60 seconds to discuss, John. Nice conversation. Will not do justice with the time. Because I wanted those points to be there. Yeah, I know. I personally work with a lot of young people. Okay, 60 seconds up. Thank you so much, guys. We have to wrap up. So we're going to start with team number 6. Can you please come? Because I don't want you to keep discussing while the session is going on. Come, let's start with team number 6. People who didn't get a chance, they have to come because we have to make sure you have to make your presence felt. Okay, everybody put your hands together for team number 6, and this is the last round, so I want you to pay attention, and let's go.
All right, thank you very much for the shout out. So, indigenous sports, I just asked my team member, why do we need more promotion on it? So, they just gave me a lot of awareness. So, first brainstorming idea that we got was, how I was thinking of Olympics, but coming down, something like Halo India, that's what one of our team members was suggesting. Having more district level competitions, state level competitions for these sort of sports, so that the awareness on these issues are more. I'm glad that there are a lot of films that are being made. I think very recently, Kushti Poti, there is one movie in Telugu that was also released. It talks about how even females can get into these sort of sports. So there's no gender bias. Anyone can get into these sports. So that was one, Khelo India at district, state, and then let's say even global level. And second is, all right, so we are talking about having a basketball coach at each school, having a fitness coach at each school, PT teacher, we have these sort of people, right? But what about, we have cricket academies where people go and learn how to play cricket, basketball academy. So having more academies for indigenous sports as well, that was another thought. Because that will, one, it will encourage for people to go learn indigenous sports. Second, it will also train a lot of people for livelihood opportunities. So tomorrow, if any school wants to hire an indigenous sport teacher, they will be having a trained person, not just ऐसे book में indigenous sports है, tick कर लो. And third most important point, our team member is going to add.
So I'm a person of money. Okay, so please add more fundings to the indigenous sports so you can, You can open more centers in the rural areas or urban areas, semi-urban areas. Like lot of districts from where I come, it's a very small district. We have a center, sports club, जहाँ पे एक basketball court होता है. So you can always also integrate the indigenous sports in those clubs and those district areas. So more funding, and of course people will join. You can also have scholarship for these sports. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, team number 6, for all the 3 suggestions that you put together. Team number 5. There is somebody. Okay, chappatlu kottandi for team number 5.
So the first thing what we have discussed is, like we all know IPL and with regards to the cricket, how fan base we have in our country. What about the other games which require, like example, recently we have seen a growth in Pro Kabaddi. How many of you know about it? A lot of people might not, but it's still in the growth process. So we can also do certain activities or events which empowers and encourages the traditional games in the country, not only in the national level, but also every state has its own traditional game. So we need to focus on which state has its own traditional game and can also organize its own events like IPL or something related to certain high-level events so that people can participate. Another thing I've been pushing forward, don't think that I've been talking about gender inclusion and diversity, but it plays a vital role in our everyday life. How many of you know how many trans women are being part of? And my friend has recently made a statement that LGBT people are not much into sports. That can be a complicated statement, but the reason why I would say that is it is happening that most of the LGBT people are not part of sports or any kind of sports industry is only because there is no inclusion and diversity within the sports industry too. How many trans women are there in the women's cricket team? And recently, unfortunate news, UC World Athletic Organization has banned a transgender person participating in the in the Olympics or any activities they have been organizing. So these kind of bans will remove or make less participation from the gender and sexual minorities. So you open up the spaces, and another point is building more spaces for for organizing these kind of games, building more within the community so that people can come and participate.
Yes, so I have a few points to make. Before anything else, I just wanted the last question. I feel like a lot of people may not have really interesting inputs there. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure people in this room will, but outside they might not. Okay, so recently, 3 months ago, I had the privilege to cover the CISF ceremony that happened in Hyderabad. CISF is the Central Industrial Security Force, which takes care of all the city security force through army forces. Okay, and they had a parade, and in the parade they had this section where they showcased Kalari Payattu, which is a Kerala indigenous martial art, okay, where 300 women, okay, only women participated and showcased these martial arts, okay. The thing is, it was one of the best experiences of my life, okay, and I was just wondering, why is, when someone says martial arts, why is karate is the only thing that comes to my head? I'm not even sure if I'm saying it correctly. Like, you know, it's not even from India, I'm sure, okay, but somehow we are promoting that a lot more when we have such amazing martial arts in our country. So I feel like these should be, also to think about why they're not being promoted. So the thing is, I've asked one of the coaches there, why is this not as popular? Because this is so cool. And they said, these things come through a very interesting part of our Indian culture, which is the Guru Sishya Parampara, okay? Where what basically happens is there's one guru who has trained for years, and I think this has been part of our mythology also, and then they teach the students, okay? And I think that's something that we are not seeing in the urban world so much, and I think that's something that can, you know, make a comeback in the cities. Maybe we can incorporate that somehow, and I think that will help and promote the indigenous sports. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Team number 4, come. We'll try to make it a little fast. Chapatlu kottandi.
Yeah, hi all. So this sports kind of activities like completely not related to me because I sleep after finishing my work. I sleep at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning in the office itself. And when I wake up, like some cleaning workers comes and wakes me in the 8:30 or 9 a.m. And when I call my friends to like get an update, like when he will be coming, when so that he can take up the work for the remaining half day. And he tells ki bro, मैं like abhi soya hu 5:30 ko after finishing my work. I have an assignment. I will finish it, and I will try to be there by 11:30 or 12 in the office. So like this is what the busy schedule is. So this yoga, sports, games, वगैरह are not like treated as mandatory. They're like it's like a kind of library period where we don't even mind it. So like colleges and corporates should like focus on making it a mandatory. कि college should make it like it is mandatory. It's something like if you don't pay the current bill today, there will be a power cut tomorrow. So it should be treated something like mandatory so that it will be implemented in influence like in the way it should be. Then coming to like colleges, they should like give more time as instead of treating as an extra time, they should make it like playing sports or doing meditation is like important so that they can focus on the rest of the day. And also coming to corporates where they says that we also support sports games where which corporates conducts only once or twice in a month. They book a stadium, they play cricket kind of thing and post it saying we support games and kind of thing. Instead of that, they should they should focus on like we focus on like yoga. The people, the employees who do yoga and like plays games, they like they should make it like these employees can get more productive than the person like who comes like who sleeps at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning and works for the whole day and night. Instead of they should focus on the people like who does like better yoga and kind of thing. So to make it more simple, it should be like given more priority and should be promoted more so that every student and employees will know the importance of it. Like instead of treating it that it as a library period. Thank you.
Thank you. To team number, which team? 4. Okay, team number 3. Yeah, one person can come, no problem. One. Or come, aajo, dono aajo, no problem. Because you already stood up. Come. We'll keep it a little fast so that we're going a little ahead of time. But yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'll keep it quick. So there are a lot of indigenous sports in our country. I'm not going to name them, but okay, I'll name them. There's Malakam, Kalari, Payattu, Gatka, Thangta, Yogasana, Silambam. Our favorites, Kabaddi, Kho. But basically there are a lot. And we don't, like people my age, like teenagers, we know nothing about them. We learn basketball, badminton, tennis, things like that in school. But I have not once come across a school in Hyderabad where they teach sports like these, the indigenous sports. So an idea our team had was maybe the government, like the state government, could adopt a policy where they promote these sports through schools and school education. How we have basketball and stuff taught in school. Each school in every city in Telangana can take up one sport that they teach across so that it's actually inculcated into our school curriculum so that it's we learn it and it's part of our lives then after that. Yeah.
Thank you. As my teammate said, in schools, the only sports you'd hear about are the big famous ones, basketball, football, tennis, all that. Now, to promote these indigenous sports, the first point on how to promote them we're talking about is community games. Now, the first time I was introduced to Kho and Kabaddi, it was every year my community would hold games, sports events for the children in that area. And that was where I got introduced to Kho and Kabaddi for the first time, and it was amazing. I loved both sports. I had amazing fun. It was only the first time playing it. Now, that's why it's important. So To promote these sports, it has to be included in inter-school games. You go to an inter-school competition, any schools, once again, it only has football, basketball, athletics, tennis, all that. It needs to include Kho-Kho and Kabaddi, these sports. Now, how will they play? Nobody knows the rules. Special training facilities, bring coaches and coaches into these schools and find students who are willing to play these sports, train them, educate them, and it'll be fun. And then after that, again, somebody mentioned movies over here. When Chak De India came out, the hockey movie, sometime early 2010s, it increased the purchases of hockey sticks across India for the entire year. Like no other year in the entire 2000s time had seen such a high purchase of hockey sticks. So like that, good movies too. It's a very good promotion on the sport, and it helps bringing attention to those. So you bring a good Kabaddi movie, a good Kho-Kho movie, big increase. Now, how to promote, but why do we need to promote these indigenous sports? There is now more sports in the country means more players will play. Now, more players is inclusivity. Inclusivity in that's it. More people come play the sport. There'll be an increase of athletes in the country, and it also increases cultural tourism. So, example, you're going to the U.S., Philadelphia, for example, where the NBA usually happens. You go there, you're having the time, you're having fun, and then you think, I want more. You think of NBA because it's a very big sport, it's a very big live-streamed event. You will want to go and you will want to watch. It enhances cultural tourism. If Kho-Kho and Kabaddi increases and becomes a worldwide sport, people from outside will be coming to India just to train and watch and learn these sports. It'll be good. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's go to team number 2. Nobody's saying, what is that? Gilli Danda. One of my favorite. Okay.
Okay, to start with, indigenous sports. Most of the people talk only about Kabaddi, Kho-Kho, because Kabaddi and Kho-Kho are nationally celebrated. To promote other indigenous sports like Kalaripattu and Dilli Danda, it should be celebrated nationally. Don't you think there are competitions for Kalaripattu and other indigenous sports? There are. But why is it not celebrated? It isn't getting media visibility. And that is one point. And to how indigenous sports will contribute to well-being. Why? Because these sports can help you get more physical fitness, and also if anyone had gone through some professional training of swimming, anyone? The key activity that someone gets before professional swimming training is breath control. All these sports also can get breath control, brain awareness, and also emotion management into well-being. These can be most contributing factors that can be given into your well-being. Thank you.
So indigenous sports obviously need to be promoted for multiple reasons. Mainly because they give you a sense of awareness and belongingness towards your tradition and roots. Naturally, as human beings, we need to evolve, which is why we think that promotional leagues should be made more modern and fashionable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Put your hands together for team number 2, the last team for today. Okay, team number 1.
The time has come for me to introduce the most beautiful, wonderful Tirtha onto the stage.
Thank you. Hi, as I mentioned before, I am a basketball player, and I believe that this sport has truly been transformational in my journey, and I think it's incredibly important for the youth to inculcate sports into their daily lives. And now talking about indigenous sports, what sets it apart?
I think the most predominant thing that sets it apart is that the rules are very flexible, right? So these games have been played for years. The Indian subcontinent has a rich sporting culture and heritage dating back 1,000 years, and we have retained popularity of a few. But what, the roadblocks to this is, number one, lack of awareness. There's lack of financial aid and inadequate media spotlight. So we've come up with a few policies as a team. Number one would be to recognize and promote, right? The government can officially recognize and promote these indigenous sports, and by organizing national level competitions, establishing governing indigenous sports bodies, etc. And financial support is also incredibly important. I think as I mentioned before, one of the roadblocks is that there is a lack of financial aid. So by providing grants, sponsorships, scholarships, I think it can be, the promotion of these sports can be increased. The other point I wanted to talk about was media and publicity. We've already talked about this. I, in fact, came to know about Kalari when I was about 8 years old through this Chota Bheem movie where it was set in Kerala, and they really helped me. It opened a gate to me. It opened a new world of Kalari, and I was really invested in it, right? So I think it's important to represent indigenous sports in media by showcasing their uniqueness, by showing everyone what it is, how it's been played for ages, etc. And another thing would be representation in sports governance. I think it's important to encourage representation of indigenous sports players and experts in sports governing bodies at a national level, state level, and local level. Over to you, King.
You should have just heard I was introducing Tirtha. Attract more and more people. That is what we wanted to say. Thank you very much. If you ever need a reason to smile, you saw us today. Thank you.
Great. A big round of applause to each one of you. Thank you so much for making time and giving out your important suggestions. We just hope all the points that are discussed here is put forth to the government, and the government implements as much as possible. So one thing I want to encourage each one of you to do is keep suggesting, continue the conversations of all the things that you suggested on on social media. Tag the responsible people so that there is more conversation towards it's happening. Let's not just end it in this room. Other suggestion is, apply it in your own organizations too, all the learnings that you do, because when you start doing, people will start saying, and more of action also will keep happening. On that happy note, I want to hand over the mic to Mr. Pranay. Put your hands together for Pranay.
You have something to...
A quick word. I know brainstorming happens and people really want to push their, beyond thoughts, etc. But my humble request for all the policymakers, when you do brainstorming, have people from different spectrums be a part of the conversations. Because unless the one who is going through the pain is in the room with the discussion, no policy can come into the game. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu, for stressing on that. With that, we come to the end of the brainstorming session. Yes, we were not able to discuss on the other two topics, but I think we've been productive enough understanding because I myself, along with my colleague Pawan, were making the report of what points have been. We were able to note down a few, but yes, great points in terms of, I was really interested in what would come out from the digital health infrastructure, but I think that's been something very favorite to me. So I think we've aced it in that. So thank you so much, Arun, for moderating this and for all the participants to give away your points. And while I come in the next 2-3 minutes to close it, I have somebody very interesting, a startup based out of T-Hub, and what they're doing with the student community is very, very interesting. India is one of the 3 largest student communities, in fact. So I'd like to invite Sri Charan Lakkaraju, founder, Student Tribe, from Telangana-based startup, trying to nurture student community and enhance student community through various topic-specific communities, non-tech and technology. So I'd give it to him because they're working something in the space of health and well-being, trying to build communities within the college space that they have also.
The short time after, I've been witnessing a lot of good discussion points raised by people. First, I'd like to introduce for the people who don't know us. I'm Sri Charan Lakkaraju. I run a community called Student Tribe. And today, we're happy to say we have more than 500,000 students in the age group of 17 to 22. The 2 points which I wanted to mention. One, how can we create homogeneous communities? Because a lot of times, this heterogeneous campuses, college campuses, school campuses are not serving the purpose. That's the reason, if you see some of the developed countries, if you see across the world, after a point of middle school, there is a lot of homogeneity which they bring in. There are sports schools. We have sports schools, but 1 or 3 or 4 per the state. If you see China growing in few areas in Olympics, in sports, because a person chooses a profession in the 7th class or 8th class, when he's in the middle school itself, he knows that he is going to become a table tennis guy. He is going to become a badminton player. He is going to become something like, which is his career. He is not so insecure about his position. A lot of times, a lot of things happen because you are insecure about your own thing. If a startup founder is insecure whether what will happen to him tomorrow, he will not continue his startup. So we have to identify homogeneity across these things, because again, people will say, like, I have a son who is now 8 years old, and he says me one thing. I put him in Gopichan Badminton Academy, and he starts playing. He goes to Future Kids, and he tells me one thing. Recently, his coach called me up. He says, like, his mother he overheard a conversation. His mother was saying her sister that I'm just sending him to just keep him busy. And he went to his trainer, where his trainer was saying, play seriously. He answered the trainer back saying that I'm not going to become a badminton player. Why should I play seriously? A lot of times, these conversations play a very big role on the minds of young kids. So we have to create that homogeneity and ensure that their careers are secure. What are we trying to do in our student tribe? We started creating honest communities. We called student tribe as ST and hone ST, honest. Honing means sharpening, honing some skill. So hone est, honest AI community, honest UPSC civils, honest AI ML, honest software development, honest study abroad. When we started creating these micro communities, today we are reaping results because you have peer-to-peer learning which happens. They don't feel lonely. Why? They learn a lot of things from the peers more than mentors, more than anyone else. So these conversations, thanks that we were really lucky that G20 presidency is there with us and we have forums like Y20 and these are the forums where some tinkering happens and organizations like TSIC, RIS, when they come together to host these events, it's not that you change something today evening, it might change after a decade, but somewhere that was instigated, that might be today. And I thank Pranay and team for helping me out or giving me this opportunity for a couple of minutes so that one thought might lead to something else. And please ask anything, if someone asks you to do something, ask them why. That why is more important in youth because youth is stop asking why. If you start asking why more, you will get to know the answers because life is all about finding answers, not options. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charan, for that point. And I'm sure you'll keep going on and building these communities in the space of homogeneity. So while I would like to come to conclusion, but then we keep getting a lot of interest coming in. So I have Rida, one of the delegates, wanted to quickly add a final point that she missed out on. So yeah.
Hi again, everyone. I'm so sorry for taking your time and dragging this on. But I wanted to make a quick argument on something someone had said earlier. And I've been hesitating to come up because it's quite a sensitive topic. So someone commented that trans women were banned from participating in women's sports against women. Let me give you an example. So I was recently scrolling through Instagram and I saw this post where in the United States, this sports level track athlete sued her state government for letting a trans woman compete because she was the fastest runner, and because she was competing with a trans woman, she lost her title. I'm an ally. Heck, I'm queer myself, but I definitely think that there should be a separate division in sports for trans people and non-binary people. Now, the point is, we're not trying to sort of segregate you from society, but we want to give you opportunities. It's just that when it comes to sports only, biological genes and factors play a huge role here. So I think I just wanted to shed some light on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rida, for that. So we have a quick activity. So we have certificates for all of your participation, an acknowledgement to all of your participation and the points that you've made today for the government out there. Like Charan said, might not be today, but as and when the necessity comes in, all these points are going to be reflected over there, right? So one thing that we've been really, really happy about from the start of this session is the fact, I think through Y20, we've got an opportunity to create a new community over here. And I must say, we will be continuing this community. We will be creating a WhatsApp group for all of you to be a part of it because tomorrow, anything that happens, I think one common point that was discussed in all the three subtopics was to increase the delta of the information that goes in, right? So you can never think of the network that an individual brings in and the kind of people. Somebody said, how do you have Spocks out there in tier 2 and tier 3? So geographically, all of us are also very, very diverse over here, right? So we work in the tier 2, we work in the tier 1. I think that it's very important to keep strengthening the community. So we'll move on to the next activity is to give away the certificate. So I invite Dr. Shanta and Ali to come onto the dais and acknowledge the people's efforts with certificates.
Okay, so I'll be calling out all the delegates' names one by one. Please come on the stage when your name is called. Veda Varakattu. Tirtha Panachur. King Joseph. Kashan.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to say the names. Everyone please line up here. Ashwin Tenwala, Chitrali, Karan Sai. Shivani Tripurani. Anugya Bhatia. Akshat Anand. Aishwarya. Anshu Reddy. Pujita Rupani. Anshu. Ravi Kiran. Shriya Gupta. Rutvika. Yakara Ganesh. Aditya Havaldar. I repeat, Aditya Havaldar. Anil. Sriram. Ravi Sambari. Habib Ali. Shweta Desiraju. Pratyusha. Neha Rani. Rida Sahel.
Great. Thank you so much. Ali, I have a question for you. So, Ali had, in the last few months, he'd visited 50 cities for Y20. And very obvious question, the difference. How different, I mean, I'm sure every experience that you had was very, very different. We wanted to just see how different was this Hyderabad edition and what was your expectation on it?
So, my organization has been mandated to take care of, a lot of youth-related activities for G20. Although we are not a very youth-run organization, we are a very serious organization. It's a 40-year-old organization. It's a think tank. We do policy work. But as Destiny had it, for G20, we are doing a lot of youth-related work. So one of the responsibilities that we have is G20 University Connect, for which we are traveling to 75 universities, for which I have been personally to, done 25 by myself, and you can add 7 or 8 from Y20. And this is my second time in Hyderabad. The first time I was here on 19th January at Hyderabad University, where former Indian ambassador and former Foreign Secretary Ambassador Sayyid Akbaruddin delivered a keynote address at University of Hyderabad. That was also pretty good. However, for Y20, I feel this is one of the most well-organized, well-curated sessions that we have by far. Very neatly organized, making no bones about it. If you've done a good job, then you've done a good job. And thank you for hosting us for this. Great. A huge round of applause for all the organizers, by the way. They have done a lot of hard work.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali, for that. So, yes, like I said, it's all about the people who've been on ground for the last 1.5 months. The reason why we were delayed in submitting you the list of people. Oh, by the way, all of your names have gone to the central government. So they had taken approval of who had to be called in, and for this, they were doing their background checks and everything. So we're really, really late in sending, but we really wanted the relevant people coming in. That was something that was very, very important for us, even if it was 30, 25, 31. But I think it's been great hearing you out. So just wanted to quickly introduce the team behind the scenes for this whole thing. So I'll introduce one by one. So I'll call upon Sindhura Vemuri. So Sindhura Vemuri, she's the one who leads the marketing and communication at Telangana State Innovation Cell. All the tweets, everything, all marketing related stuff is something that she's looking at on tweets. And we have Ganesh from Telangana State Innovation Cell again. So Ganesh looks after the grassroots innovation. That's his vertical that he looks after. So he's been very helpful throughout the event. And Ravi Kishore over there. Ravi Kishore leads the public relations vertical at TSIC. All sorts of media invites, the people you've seen and what's going out is all up on him. And Supratik, student volunteers. So this is something very interesting that's been happening in the last 1-2 months at TSIC. So a lot of students have decided that this summer camp we're going to spend in this organization called TSIC. So we've got school volunteers also. And then I have Pavan Kella. So Pavan Kella also works on the grassroots vertical at TSIC, and he's been very, very instrumental in pulling off some of these speakers that are sitting right over here, actually. So I think he's been very instrumental. Please throw that side. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And yes, I would definitely want to say that the two people who've been showstoppers for the entire thing, who put in their sweat, blood, everything to ensure that this is happening. And that is Lahari Perabatula, and that's one Shraj for you guys. And both of them are school students, high school students right now. So we've thought who better than such youngsters to understand something of this sort and to also well connect with it. Until unless you are connected and you're interested to do something, you would not put in that much, right? So I think these two people have been really, really instrumental. So thank you so much for this putting up this. And like we said, we will ensure that the community will be further nurtured, because honestly, we also see an opportunity with all of you people sitting over here, right? Because TSIC largely concentrates on innovation and entrepreneurship, promoting it in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So a lot of people come in with that expertise, and today, most of you might have understood what role innovation can also play in the work that you're actually doing, right? With the startups or the innovations. So that is something that we would really like to seek with you and understand, because you have been there on ground and doing it. So thank you so much for all of it. Without you, nothing is possible for sure. All of you guys for taking that time and coming here and believing in us and said that, this brainstorming session, let's be part of it, reflect it and give it to the central government as to what we could achieve together. So Ali, thank you so much for this. So this is Pranay Kumar, Head Government Innovation and Partnerships, signing off. Some amazing, amazing food outside with you. So let's bring it up. Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Our team will guide you outside towards it's a little complex route map that's out there. So yeah.